That's up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Just stuck his bat out there. Here comes a throw towards the plate, not in time. And Sanoja's safe at second. Look at him wiggle those hips.
The Brewers' 4-game winning streak comes to an end. The final score 5-3. They lose to the Marlins in Miami. They crew off today. They'll open up a 3-gamer at Detroit starting tomorrow night. To the NBA, where the playoffs are underway in Oklahoma City, it was the Thunder over the Suns 119-84. Also in the West, the Spurs beat the Trailblazers 111-98. In the East, Boston mauls Philadelphia 123-91. There was one big upset, though. The 8th-seeded Magic, they win on the road at the number 1 seed Pistons 112-101. A big trade in the NFL. 2-time All-Pro nose tackle Dexter Lawrence goes to the Bengals from the Giants for Cincinnati's number 10 overall selection in this week's draft. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yards. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boys got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make it play.
B right, all the way outside. Y left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, ready to dominate a Monday in the good land. It's the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live for the early risers and insomniacs and sociopaths, people outside the health club, on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Drew Olson, Bill Schmid, and he is back, ladies and gentlemen. Armen Sarian is back from his assignment. Our furry little mascot is back behind the producer's chair.
Good to be back, guys, and I'll be back actually for a full week now and some suspended time, which is nice. I know it's been kind of
suspended or extended.
Suspended time,
yeah,
extended time.
Kind of
extended time. You're hanging out with us for the draft show this week.
Actually, I'll be here Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Come on now. That's what I like to hear.
Jumping in Saturday because I know Hunter's going to be going to the ballpark and stuff, so I'll be there for part of that. But extended time. Let's put it this way: I'll be here regularly now. This coming few weeks.
So now we won't be able to get rid of him.
Oh, that's nice of him, Drew. How
about that?
That's really nice of him to grace us with his presence for most days.
To work. Yeah.
Really the funny thing is, and we've talked about it a lot, and I tend to say it hard to have remotes when you wake up before the crack of dawn. Now, potentially, you mentioned the YMCA, the health club that we a lot of times drive by. I drove by a different health club to see how many patrons were also in Insomniacs were also sitting out there banging on the front door. They were letting them in. They're 24/7 over in New Berlin. And I was like, there's a lot of sickos that can be listening and huddling up with us. If you already can be on your treadmill or your elliptical or your Stairmaster by 5 o'clock when this little ditty fires up, so you can be locked and loaded. But I generally would always say, Drew, come see what Armen Sarian looks like. That is our number one marketing tool, is come meet Armen Sarian in person. And it's working out. I saw people are mimicking Armen Sarian. They're trying to be the furry Armenian. I saw a couple of Kia Sorrentos with a baby on board driving around on Thursday afternoon at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's great to see that people are taking in and trying to be the Armen Sarian. Often imitated, never duplicated.
very much.
But I like the fact that you're getting to that level here, and the only way you stay at the top there is being there day in and day out.
Do you think it's like a lifestyle I can start to market is like be Armen, maybe start up an app, say, how can I become more like Armen today?
I think you start firing up. I think you start it with the 3:30 a.m. get ready with me videos.
Start that, maybe take days off from work, but still go on Dennis's show.
Yeah, still do like multiple podcasts when you take off.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you expand that brand that right now seems pretty hot.
Let's get it out now. He knows it's coming.
No, that's fine.
Cheating on us with Dennis Krause and Doug Russell.
I did chuckle. I got the business from Billy on Thursday. Deservedly so, I think, a little bit. That was kind of an oddity, I'm sure. If you didn't see me in the morning and you saw me on there, you're like, what's going on? But hey, it's Dennis. It's hard to say no to Dennis Krause. I mean, it's hard to say no to one of the greats.
He's legendary.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say no.
Right. Absolute institution. No question about it.
Well, and definitely can't say no to comma the. You definitely can't say no there.
That's true.
Definitely can't say no to Butchie. I like it. I like
Butchie, come on. Yeah. The Den's been hot, by the way. Den's doing well.
Den is doing well. Yeah.
Didn't
you recently do a Zabecast too? Like that was.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
100%.
So that was a Zabecast and with Butchie and.
Well, because Drew, as I was told when I asked online, it's like, wait a second, I thought we were on vacation. I thought we were hanging out. I thought we were having a nice, beautiful father-daughter week. I was told the grind never stops, Drew.
Well, yeah,
the grind never stops.
Now, my only thing is, and all apologies to everybody involved, but I don't consume. I only have so much bandwidth, so I probably won't hear your appearance.
With Zabe totally fair.
I just want to make sure. Did Zabe, and he's usually pretty good about this, but did you get in some plugs for the Huddle?
Oh, absolutely. I do. I always do. Always make sure to do that.
Armen is on the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, available 920, 1070, iHeartRadio app. Did he give us the pops?
Always make sure to do that. Always
good. Well, you did or Zabe did?
He did. Well, he gave me, let's put it this way. He set me up with the opportunity to do it.
All right.
And I always try and make comments to how good we're doing in this, slot, how great it is to get up in the morning. And, Butchie always enjoys that little one when I give it to him a little bit. Say, hey, you know what? We're doing fine here in this time slot. No problem.
That's right.
You know what's going on with the business. You know where I'm at. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Right.
Well, it is good to have Armen back. And again, he was not babysitting. He was with his child. He's being a dad.
Being a present
being
father.
A parent in a situation where you didn't have any child care. It's all good.
You might hear more about that in
games
and kicks, by the way.
Okay. And you can't you can't produce remotely. Like if you and I, Billy, you've done shows from the Lanai at Del Boca Vista. Got yelled at. I've done shows from Stately Olson Manor. Armen can't do that. And while we're talking about it, and it's not game balls and kicks to the balls yet, but we will game ball Hunter Baumgardt and David Gasper for filling in for Hunter.
Man,
Great work by them. By you, Billy.
And Billy as well.
Yeah, I don't know that great is exactly the word that you should be using for the performance I put out on Thursday.
You were on air.
He got through it.
We did. We
survived in advance.
Got on air and ultimately stayed on air.
That's all important.
That was all that mattered. Yeah. And at points we were a little tumultuous, but we landed that son of a gun.
That was it. All right. So first things first, because we talked about it quite a bit last week, and we've had some record rainfalls, record tornadoes. We got a year's worth of tornadoes last week throughout the state. And I'm wondering because we were bunkering in on Friday. I didn't do anything Friday night, just hung at home. Billy, were you the Admirals regular season finale on Friday night?
Yeah.
What was it like being there? Because I saw a lot of videos. You saw the team from Fox 6, the local ABC, Fox affiliate, right? Fox. They went down into the basement. We're doing like the shows from the basement. Like they were broadcasting from the basement to set an example.
It's really cool technology that they're able to do. Smart by them to
set
build
that example.
Out. Yeah.
I saw people were at a charity gig at Discovery World, had to go into the basement and stuff. And so I'm wondering, what did the Admirals do? What was it like in the historic Milwaukee Panther Arena during the game?
So I might get this wrong, but I want to say it was middle of the second period when the weather kind of peaked right there around like 8:30. And that was when. Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. And then that was when you started to get a couple of alerts onto the phone. And about 2 minutes later, right during in between a face-off, quick icing, as I'm fully learning and identifying when it's going to be icing and when it's not going to be icing. Matt Moore read off the statement that they fired up right on the screen, and it's right after the second intermission. Or the first intermission. So long beer lines, people catching up during intermission, having some casual conversation. At that point, I believe it was 2 or 3-0 Grand Rapids. It would end up getting far worse. I believe it was an 8-0 affair. So it was a tough game to potentially have all eyes always on. But right there, after very, very quickly after the first intermission, the shelter in place came in. So everybody had to get off of the concourses into the Arena Bowl, into the seats, to the point where like every single worker, the Saz's folks, the people working over at Bubble Waffle, there were no more Bubble Waffles. They weren't scooping any cookies and cream at that point. Oh, man. You had to walk onto the ledges. We moved all of our super special exciting promos over to the into the corner. It ended just before the second intermission took place. So people were then able to move freely amongst the cabin, and were no longer with their seatbelt sign on. But for a good, 10, 12 minutes of hockey time in about 20 minutes, it was the most packed historic UW Milwaukee Panther Arena has been since, maybe like the 80s playoffs, because it was like the whole concourse was loaded up. People were starting to kind of funnel in around the stairs area because anybody that was around this, it was a good crowd too. It was a really good crowd for a Friday night in the final one. And then luckily, by the time we started giving away all the fan appreciation promos and gifts and prizes away, we were able to start moving freely around.
Yeah, it was. It felt like 87 Bucks Celtics playoffs all over again.
Oh, it's crazy.
Is that what you're saying?
Wild.
Yeah, but kudos to you and them. I know it was a tenuous night everywhere. I was in the basement, but you had to be out there, so you did a great job, Billy, on the mic. Keeping the people.
I saw you shaming people that weren't in the basement.
I wasn't shaming.
I just said
everyone get in the basement.
Took a roll call.
Roll call, basement gang, stand up. Like,
get in there.
Get in there. Let's go. Got through that. First time in the basement with Len has been in the basement, but first time for a tornado warning. Had to keep her entertained for a half hour. Glad I had gotten the TV going in the basement so I could watch Mark Baden and all my favorite Nizansky and all those guys. Kudos to everybody out there who got it done on the meteorologist on the live TV stage. I mean, you had to stand up for how many hours if you're Mark Baden this week? You did a great job.
I have, it's not like I'm a weather nerd, but I don't recall tornado warnings in our area three times in 4 nights.
It was
not close.
So
Incredible.
to have that stretch, to have basically a year's worth of severe weather events in a week was like bizarre. And all the rain we have, the one offshoot of it is you drive around the good land these days and everything's green and beautiful. It's like June already. It's a lot of times we don't get this until Memorial Day or even after, like you get the brown patches and stuff. All the remaining snow is gone.
That's very much gone.
Ugly little piles in the corner of the Walgreens parking lot or the up against buildings and stuff. Gone.
Wave to it. Bye, Charlie.
Even though it's like 35 right now outside.
But that potentially is a good thing. Now it might have been even better a week later, because then the spawning skeeters would potentially get deleted as much as possible.
That would help us at this point. Like an extended day of 20-degree temperatures, kill all the
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad thing. The Journal Sentinel had some writing with the National Weather Service that it set a record of most tornado warnings issued in a single day earlier this week. And as of April 19th, no Wisconsin counties remain under a tornado watch, obviously, from the weekend. But about 45 of the state's 72 counties at one point during the week were under a tornado watch.
And then driving back, obviously, for you, Billy, or if you were driving around in the area after that Brewers game, did it have flashbacks for you guys about that fateful August night coming back from Lambeau?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just crazy. The flooding situation going on. Obviously, half of our city's under construction as it is, so drainage isn't always, optimum. And so everybody had their own issues to deal with, and, we're all working together, though. That's the one thing about severe weather is we all come together as a community.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a couple of days in a row where you don't have to worry about the sump pump and folks are digging out and cleaning out. And a lot of people have flooded basements, and it's just, man. Yeah, so we weathered it. We're through it. We weathered Armen's time off. We're plowing ahead. And now we turn the page into playoff season for the NBA and the NHL. And, of course, Billy's Christmas week, the NFL draft.
Oh, it's finally
going to hear those chimes coming in starting Thursday night, even though we have to be passively watching on Thursday night, I think, because I don't envision Packers and Brian Gutekunst trading up to get into the first round of this draft.
I think it's pretty safe to say the'll be a spectator.
More likely,
Thursday
as
night.
always, that they will trade back and get more picks because they probably won't see value. And maybe they'll use their pick at 52, which is the lowest they've ever had a first pick in the draft.
Well, they haven't not had their first round pick going into the offseason in 40 years now.
1986, although they traded out of the first round twice.
Yep, they traded out of the first round a couple of different times. But just thinking about it, like Micah Parsons, John Hadle. I hope that, I like the fact that those two names now will forever be tied together, and hopefully Micah does what we think it will be and knocks that one completely out of our repertoire and conversations.
Someone was asking me about that, and I just said, you got FOMO because we talked about it all last week, and when Armen was gone, like the draft isn't in Green Bay, and so it's a letdown. It's like, oh, got FOMO there. And you got FOMO because, well, Thursday's going to go off and we're going to watch the show and like have no investment because the Packers will never be on the clock Thursday, more than likely.
Yep.
Right. But I will take Micah Parsons over for the rest of his time in Green Bay. I will take him over whoever Dallas gets at number 20.
Yeah. And frankly, Drew, over pretty much everybody else that's going to go here in this draft, because they'll rate it and we'll have to wait years down the line to figure out how many guys of this end up being Pro Bowlers and all pros and whatever. But when the best defensive rusher in rush prospect, the number one player available on most people's board, is the hopes that he can be Micah Parsons, and you have him now on your team. That's why you give out 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. So I urge still everybody all week long to watch highlights of the 12.5 sacks, to watch the 10 games or the 11 games that he was healthy for, and hopefully get ready for 26 and 27. But you see a crop of players, Drew, that into the second day and the third day, this is a full, and you'll hear more people discuss this over the next couple of days. This is a full infused NIL draft, right? I think last year was our first full. These guys have grown up in NIL their entire time in college. These guys now walked into college with NIL being a real deal, being a real thing. So maybe there's more untapped potential because guys haven't been necessarily at the same place their entire time. People haven't been able to work with them and develop them as players multiple years on end, build up or, knock them down so you can build them back up and make them even better. Or there's some guys with some cash in their pockets, and the personnel evaluation is going to be even more imperative than just the talent evaluation, because there's going to be a different talent pool there, because these guys otherwise on day 3, you can make the same, if not more money in college away than you will making this step and being an underclassman jumping up.
That is a good point. You can reach us on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Game balls and kicks to the balls today. And, oh, baby, Billy, we mentioned it's your Christmas week.
Big deal, baby.
The draft will fire up on Thursday. We'll have extended coverage presented by Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
Better believe it.
Billy and Wayne Larrabee putting the band back together.
And you can also bet on the draft, and I will have some things at Potawatomi Sportsbook throughout the week. I got some potential winners that I'm going to be cooking up throughout the week.
Excited for that, Billy.
And then today is, of course, a holiday for those who observe. Welcome to 420.
Talk about fired up.
Our pals at happyplacehemp.com. Rob and Chris, we'll have our wake and bake story for you later. But today, and today only, happyplacehemp.com, 42% off in honor of 420. 42% off
their place away.
Wonderful products. Free shipping today. Use the code HUDDLE today. It ends at midnight. You can use the code HUDDLE anytime.
Any day of the week.
25% off. But today, 42% off everything at happyplacehemp.com using the code HUDDLE. Thanks to Rob and Chris for this incredible deal. We will be reminding you of it early and often.
Are they doing okay?
They're just not busy enough.
Okay, because I was gonna generally 42% off is a deal that only comes with the big yellow signs that say close out. This means we are fired up to help and enjoy the holiday with everybody else. 40. That's a lifestyle choice right there, giving the place away for almost half off and free shipping.
That is one wild, awesome deal right there.
The guys,
maybe they've taken
the guys work out of Muskego. They're not far from the Megaplex, and I need to drop in there. but this is so delicious that I can streamline operations this week, order online, get the stuff shipped, and save myself, even the 30 minutes. And it'd be a pleasant interaction with the boys. I love seeing them. I love hanging out and talking, chopping it up. But now I got to take advantage of this deal for sure.
And again, the free shipping on top of it.
Yes.
Not only is it almost half off, then you get maybe the biggest expenditure and the most frustrating expenditure, the digital version, the online version of spinning that bad boy around and asking if you'd like to tip 20%.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but I mean, with a deal like that, I mean, it's almost worth it. You almost feel bad not tipping those boys something. You know what I mean? This is coming from Armen. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's saying something.
So,
That's
all right,
true.
as we move forward, we're going to hear from Hunter Baumgardt in the 7 o'clock hour. He'll join us live. We also have a report from him. Brewers had they lost their chance to sweep. You get greedy. You want that sweep, especially going into a day off today before they take on Detroit at Comerica this week. But Brewers did win 2 of 3 in impressive fashion. Yesterday went a little sideways. We'll talk all things Brewers as we move forward. Get ready for game balls and kicks to the balls. And when we come back, I got a question that is going to maybe fire Armen up more than Billy.
Ooh,
it's something that you gotta. I had to ask myself. We will get to that. It regards the NBA playoffs and your Milwaukee Bucks. A little teaser.
That's a big league tease right there.
Welcome into the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
freaking out, man.
You are freaking out, man.
You want to know why I pulled you over? Littering.
Officer, that's not ours.
Candy bars. Littering and? Littering and? Littering and?
Littering and, littering and, littering and, littering and,
Littering and smoking the reefer. Now to teach you boys a lesson, Officer Rabbit and I are going to stand here while you three smoke the whole bag.
Please.
As Armen with a Super Troopers detour on this 420 edition of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen's back behind the chair. He's happy, and we're celebrating Happy Place Hemp on 420.
I know you love that movie, Billy.
Littering and
42% off, free shipping at happyplacehemp.com. Today only till midnight. Use the code HUDDLE and take advantage of that. We will as well.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
Armen, what's that place you really like going to? The place with all the stuff on the walls?
Shenanigans.
One of the that's one of the absolute best baked movies of all
Pretty
time.
cool that also, I mean, it was a classic in my era of like college, right? Early mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And like, an independent kind of comedy troupe like that can make a movie that would become big. Does that happen anymore? I mean, that's a Matt Miller question one of these days.
Yeah,
but
we'll get him on.
I think it does, but it's on the internet now.
They were all Seth Rogen movies for a long time.
Exactly. Or like if you get like an unknown comedy troupe that becomes big, it happens because of the internet and the social media.
Did I dream this? Or are they going to do a Superbad 2? I think
Super Troopers,
there might be Superbad.
No, Superbad. I did.
Superbad might be coming back.
I didn't see that.
I think I did see that, but I just want to make sure that it wasn't AI.
It would be a sequel of Superbad. I thought somebody had involved.
As of 2026, there's no official Superbad 2 movie in development.
Okay.
Maybe we did get some help.
No.
Because I definitely saw the same graphic that I think you
Rogan was on. I think Seth Rogen was on Stern or something. He hinted at, we could hit him and his buddy that write all their movies. He was like, he was teasing that they might be writing one.
Well, I think they want to get studios excited to shop it, maybe.
Could be.
It's like you got to hit a sequel when the timing's right, I feel like. You got to hit it right away. Super Troopers tried it, but 20 years later.
Yeah, that one was tough. Jonah Hill says, we'll make Superbad 2 on one condition.
Oh, gosh.
We'll do it at 80 years old.
Oh, there you go.
That could be funny, actually.
Reveals that he'd be interested in making a sequel as long as it's when they are 80 years old. Well, that one would be kind of tough when he's saving Evan. I'm saving you, Evan.
Kind of funny.
I'm saving your life.
Funny.
The original American Pie guys, they were all saying that they could do it forever and see. But if people came to
you would have bought
the movie, I would have gone. But it's like, at what age can Stifler be Stifler? Still, you know what I mean? It's
forever.
Just the way it is.
Man, how many guys do you know from high school that are still the same dude?
That's a hell of a point.
And are you not reading and seeing these stories about what's going on at these retirement homes?
That's a great point.
Very true.
That's a great point.
Your whole life you can be doing this stuff.
Like American Pie Summer Cruise or something.
You can reach us, 877-794-1973. Start talking amongst yourselves on the stream, on the YouTube page as well. We'll love those comments. Okay, so we've got FOMO because the draft isn't in Green Bay, and they're firing it up in Pittsburgh. We get to watch their party, and they'll
throw a good party, I think.
Drinking their Iron Cities, and the weather will be probably marginally better than it was for Green Bay. So we've got FOMO there. Also might have some FOMO with the NBA playoffs starting over the weekend and the Bucks not being in it. And I was thinking about things because everything with the Bucks on the little TV show I do Saturday night, Stephanie Sutton was asking me, like, who do you like for the next Bucks coach? And I said, well, until you define what the job is, it's kind of hard to find the guy for the job.
Good point.
Because if the Bucks have Giannis, they're win now. And so you would look maybe more at a veteran guy like a Thibodeau or somebody like that, or somebody maybe those guys enter the chat.
Sure.
If you get rid of Giannis and you're developing, you're looking for a young coach that can develop young talent. And then I don't know if that's necessarily an experienced guy or if that's betting on the come with a Sean Sweeney perhaps or an assistant like a Sam Cassell giving a shot or something. So it's hard to say. But as I'm watching the playoffs unfold, and then specifically, they just had a highlights on the worldwide leader of the Celtics throttling the Sixers yesterday. And Jason Tatum back from his, his Achilles journey looking good.
Incredible.
And I'm thinking to myself, and I think this is like the tint on the Giannis glasses is starting to change. I'm thinking to myself watching that, what would the Celtics be like if you swapped Jason Tatum and put Giannis on their roster?
And I started to expand that thinking in this right now and for the next 5 years. Which man would you rather have wearing your jersey? Jason Tatum or Giannis? And the default answer around here reflects, well, Giannis, of course. Giannis is the best player on the planet. Giannis. I'm not so sure.
Not so sure.
I might have to say, intellectually, I'd take Jason Tatum. And I don't think that the Celtics it would be good. Now, Jason Tatum, Batman needs Robin. He's got Jaylen Brown and has had Jaylen Brown by his side. Well, Giannis had Chris, right? Yep. And Giannis had Brooke. And you got to have not just the big one. You need the big two and big three, maybe 3.5 these days, right? But I don't think I can convince myself that in a playoff game, one game for all the Tostitos, that I would rather have Giannis than Jason Tatum.
Well, and the tough thing is you also have historic evidence, right? Like you have
evidence.
We've sadly got the historical evidence, and that was when Tatum was a far less accomplished player than maybe he is right now. Before the injury last year, I think it would be a pretty easy answer for me, Drew, that it definitely would have been Tatum, because that would have been a massive leg up that he would have over Giannis on the injury front. The tough thing is seeing and identifying it across all of the playoff teams, because we mentioned it a little bit last week that it's like you have to now be identifying teams that are going to be so desperate, so heartbroken about where they go in their lot in life as a franchise to say, we're going to send you 3 legit young players and draft assets to go and get him, and he is going to turn our franchise around. You look and you're like, sweet, I just watched that team. Houston Rockets on the road, getting LeBron on Saturday night, a special, but their dude that they just made that move for in the offseason had a right knee injury and didn't play, and you found out 90 minutes before tip in Kevin Durant. So, like, a lot of these teams have done that move. Drew, I think I could go, if you're doing the same conversation as you just did with Tatum, a lot of people put him on the Spurs. Well, if you watched last night, not a whole lot of folks saying you're trading Castle for anybody, especially for the next 5 years. And before the season, a lot of us were like, well, is that enough? Is that enough? So you're kind of betting on the come with all of these guys, whether it's a coach candidate or whoever you end up with in this deal, because I don't know that any, and even the biggest Bucks fans right now, biggest Giannis fans right now, can look around the league and say that dude completely changes X, Y, and Z's team's futures.
Yeah, it's the position too, right? I mean, when you have a guy like Tatum or one of the ball dominant wings or guards that can change a game, maybe you look at Ant or Cade Cunningham with the ball in their hands. Giannis can do that to an extent, always has been, but obviously what Giannis excels at, you do need other guards around him. You need guys that can facilitate. You need guys that can help on both ends. Now, both ends, I think Giannis is still that guy. But yeah, I would totally agree with you that, you know, Tatum is the guy that can still, and go, not to get in the bag argument, but he'll still get you buckets. So to your point, Billy, the teams that are desperate, you start to look at that. I mean, teams that feel like, you know, we have a good backcourt, we have good wings, maybe we're a dominant guy inside away. Those are the teams,
Yeah, but what if, then again, the flip side of that is, well, what if Jaylen Brown played with Giannis in
I think that's
Milwaukee
fair too.
in recent years, like when Dame was hurt, or even other than Dame, like if you'd had not gotten Dame, we got Jaylen Brown.
Well, I'll tell you that the Jaylen Brown pairing with him and Giannis, 2 like-minded cats. That would feels like it would have been a
dogs.
Good one. Yeah, absolute dogs. Yes.
Dogs. You don't have to worry about anybody who are loafing through a practice with those 2.
No shot, no chance.
And you know, they have similarities in some ways. I mean, they both have had some injuries plague them, but Giannis has done probably more in this league individually than Jason Tatum has, just in accolades.
Well, he's 2-time MVP.
2-time MVP, all those things. Tatum didn't win the MVP of the finals. Not that that's the end all be all, but that's it. Jaylen Brown was there. Now, the Bucks had Chris, the Bucks had Drew and Brooke, but those guys maybe don't have the star longevity in this league that a guy like Jaylen Brown would. But it's an interesting question. I think you'd be hard pressed not to take Tatum.
And it's just we're preconditioning and we're building up the scabs. We're building up that you know, the tough skin to avoid the pain. Like, but I just thought it's an intellectual exercise. Like, which guy would you rather have from today on? I lean towards Jason Tatum.
Now, what do
and you're not wrong, because like 2 years ago, you're right. When they won the title, Jason Tatum is like, and Giannis is still an elite player. It's a little bit like saying
he's still at worst a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah.
At worst, Giannis is still a top 10 player in the league. At best, he can be a top 3 player in the league.
It's a little bit like saying, would you rather date Olivia Dunn or Sydney Sweeney? Like, you can't go wrong either way.
I like that choice.
Either way.
And whose body do you count holding up? Giannis or Tatum?
Olivia Dunn. Wait.
What are you guys thinking about? I'm talking about basketball.
Oh, you're talking about basketball. Whose body's going to hold up? I thought you meant,
that's
well,
the
all
question
right.
with Giannis.
Goodness sakes.
Well, then when you had a double under on Tyler there. You had the body count double holding up. The body count that she tells you, or the body counting on holding up.
Yeah.
That's two different.
In all
Very
seriousness, when you have these questions, it always starts and ends with how much can you count on Giannis being healthy, right? And that's what always is. That's what the trade
That's a part of
discussion is
it, but it's
about.
also just the basketball. Like Giannis is a bit of a kind of a square peg, if you will, and then how
100%.
you have to build around him.
He's
and
a
it's
unique guy.
He's
yeah.
a unique guy, and then you have to have the right assets around him. So there's a little bit more delicate than just dropping a guy on and saying, "Oh, we're better today."
and
Like,
that's-
how do you have to have a scheme for it a little bit?
That's the run and dunk kind of reputation. He always
James
has to fight
Hardenism,
back. He always has to fight back against that from NBA people. I think in a lot of ways he's proven that wrong by showing what he can do as a ball handler from the perimeter, to some ways as a driver, obviously. But has said it himself. He's a one-of-one, a unique player, unique style. So it is hard to compare him and think of himself as, all right, this is a guy's a traditional big or a traditional guard, or, he dominates in different ways when he's right. And that's what makes him so hard to compare in that sense, right?
Tough thing would be if you do this thought exercise, Drew, because it's fun. And then it's also maybe a little bit sobering when you think of the asset and the player at the moment. Chet Holmgren or Giannis for the next 5 years.
Oh, geez. See, now, then when you start to expand it, and
right?
today,
Like, I mean, you start going
420.
You start rolling through, like Jalen Williams was obviously hurt. Now, those two, I think that pairing is a little bit different. Obviously, SGA's right there at the top. But the teams that make the most sense that you look at right away, Minnesota and New York are going to be the ones that I think are going to be the hottest for Giannis, and they're the ones that their assets would be the least appealing.
That's true.
Outside of Miami, where already my man is soft launching a trade request to Miami.
Yep.
Interesting about
By
that.
going on Goran Dragic's podcast.
How we're going to start soft launching a trade request to Miami. I'm not doing it. It's not me, though. Yeah. I'm not talking about any of this.
Yeah.
I don't know who anybody's talking about. I don't know anyone he's talking to.
Just because he said Miami's a nice city.
Beautiful city. Beautiful city.
It
Love
is.
that city. I love that. It's a beautiful city.
It is
Very
beautiful.
international.
It is nice. I agree with
Great
him.
airport.
Doesn't mean I'm moving there just because it's a nice, beautiful city.
Yeah, well.
All right, I get your point.
And,
all right.
Well, maybe you should, because the one thing that you have in common with Giannis, Armen, is that you're both cheap. And with the no state income tax, when you got $275 million coming in, you're not paying state income tax. You just gave yourself a raise.
I was going to say, what on earth do I have in common with Giannis? I was trying to
just being cheap.
That's true.
I did finally start seeing the Kalshi ads for Giannis.
Oh, he's on all over the place. Yeah,
start seeing those.
Right.
Did you notice the disclaimer? The first thing, go read the disclaimer next time. The first thing says Giannis cannot trade on basketball. Thanks, Kalshi.
Yeah.
Holy cow! They put the rules right in front of us. I like that one.
Yeah.
He also told Goran
but
he should have shut it down
insiders
early.
can trade on financial markets and airstrikes and wars and stuff like that.
Well, you can find
bet on
anything
that.
under the sun that you can do there, and it's all totally above.
When
board.
we come back, we will we'll fire up a little Brewers talk, because we're going to hear Hunter Baumgardt's report, wrapping up the weekend. And as the Brewers are off today, our Brewers reports from Hunter, brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted source for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of I-94. Drove by them just the other day. They're where all the car dealers and stuff are, but they stand out. Import Minded. Hunter, segment coming up. Take your thoughts on this 420. HappyPlaceHemp.com, 42% off today only. Let's break a record. Use the code Huddle for 42% off and free shipping. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Monday edition of the Huddle, rolling on a dry week here. A dry week in the good land.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Hey,
Come
man,
on now.
I just heard it's not going to rain. It's a chance of rain Thursday night into Friday or something. So
okay,
we'll take it, but not severe
70
storms. Just normal
tomorrow?
rain. Just normal rain. Yeah, chances being 70 tomorrow.
Yeah, what does
Let's
regular rain feel like?
Exactly.
We haven't had like a regular rain.
A regular rain where you don't have to go to the basement and have
Yeah.
a weather radio. Yeah, it's going to be
Weather
nice.
radio. That's right, baby.
That's right. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Hunter Baumgardt is our Brewers go-to guy, and he has a report for us brought to us by Import Minded, 27th Street, just north of 894. And let's listen to what Hunter had to say about the Brewers weekend.
Thanks so much, guys. The Brewers fall in the series finale on Sunday afternoon, 5-3 the final score, but they did win the series, winning in extra innings on Friday night and then winning on Saturday afternoon. So good to see them win 2 series in a row after that 6-game losing streak. They now have an off day today before a series in Detroit starts tomorrow, and Kyle Harrison returns to the mound. He missed his spot in the rotation. That was why Coleman Crow made the start on Friday, but he is back in the rotation, had been dealing with some wrist soreness after that fall he took when that weird play happened at first base in his last outing a week ago Saturday, but good news, he is back in the rotation, projected to start tomorrow. Then Chad Patrick gets the ball on Wednesday. Brandon Sproat gets the ball on Thursday for the Crew. Also on Thursday, Brewers slated to face Tarek Skubal, so should be a tall task in the series finale. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. I'll join you guys to talk more about the Crew at 7:25 this morning. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Hunter. As it stands, you fire up the standings right now, and it must be alphabetical, but the Brewers are in last place in the NL Central with a 12-9 record. They are tied with the Cubs.
Come on.
12-9. Pittsburgh 13-9. Cardinals are 13-8, and the Reds are 14-8. Every team in the Central with a winning record.
Goodness.
That
gracious.
isn't happening anywhere else in baseball right now. All the other divisions are pretty much top heavy, especially the one where the New York Mets reside with their 11-game losing streak that's driving Frank the Tank into the tank.
I was going to say
abyss.
Right into the tank.
That's wonderful to see, although it did come against the Cubs, which I didn't like. But that's wonderful to see the Mets with all their money struggle so much. It does remind you that it's not always about that. But, hey, it is early. And you talk about this division. I mean, the last couple of years, everyone's talked about how bad the Central is going to be or how it's not a great division. And once again, a lot of teams are winning. Now, it's early, but everyone's in kind of mixing that chili around. Everyone's in the mix. So every day the standings will change. But look at the strong start for the NL Central.
The Central Division chili, not as much Comedy Central anymore.
No, absolutely.
Meanwhile, in the AL West, nobody with a winning record. The Rangers in first place, top of the Delta Pledge class at 11-11, along with the Athletics. And then the Los Angeles Angels are 11-12. So no team in that division has a winning record.
Now, maybe it's a sick problem, or maybe it's just the Potawatomi Sportsbook that drives and really enjoy home run parlays. Dude, that Athletics lineup, I guess I haven't looked at it in quite some time, because why on earth would I be watching the Sacramento Athletics? Dude, they hit absolute bombs. You want to talk about one of the beautiful parts of Brewers TV? Stumbled upon an A's and White Sox game. And
that is very random.
About as weird as it possibly could be at a AAA park. It was spring training in the middle of April, Drew. There were lawn seats. There were people all over the outfield. It was two teams just going back and forth. I think there were 7 home runs in the game. I'm like, holy cow, am I watching this in a Little League stadium?
And
no, just a AAA park.
And I'm as sad as anyone about what happened to the A's. I mean, leaving Oakland and stuff. They got to get out of Sacramento as soon as possible. It's kind of an embarrassment to Major League Baseball, don't you think?
But they actually put Sacramento on the jerseys this time. I thought that was nice of them to at least give them a little bit of an ode, a little bit of a pop. They deserved at least something in there.
It is cool for the kids in Sacramento that can always say, hey, we had a Major League Baseball team for a few years when I was growing up. So, but that stadium's going up in Vegas on the old Trop site pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens. But that is random. But Billy, I don't know. You did mention it. They're in a AAA park, but there is talent on that A's team. We just don't ever see it.
I mean, Nick Kurtz won the Rookie of the Year last year, and he hit like 27 bombs in like half a season or like 2/3 of a season. It was pretty impressive deal.
All right, we got an explanation of what Drew look like my dad, by the way, trying to take a picture of
wow.
Well, no offense.
Trying to get a
wait, let me get a picture.
I was just taking a snap of our boy Aaron Nagler on the television so I could send it to Nags because they're replaying an interview Nags did that aired on Big 12 Sports Saturday on WISN 12 in Milwaukee. And a chunk of it's playing this morning.
And it says Aaron Nagler, one-on-one, co-founder of Cheesehead TV. Now, I wish it also said, host of Carry the G Radio, the
Carry
podcast.
the G Radio, the podcast.
Might be able to find
Friend of the Huddle.
Might be able to find even more of that coming up later on this year. But I think we're going to potentially have to try to tape something with Nags this week because we've been joking about it, wanting to talk some draft. Luckily, and obviously, this was done at a more appropriate hour. Too damn early for Aaron Nagler. He was pretty adamant about that. That is far too early for Aaron Nagler.
It is early
on Eastern time. But we are going to get him talking some Packers draft coming up this weekend because if anybody does watch and know and have takes on who will get drafted in the 6th round, Nags will have some.
It is ironic, though. He's on Eastern time. I'm like, come on, you do have the extra hour. Come on, Nags, let's go. Let's
but he's a man of the night.
He is. He's a nocturnal animal. He's a nocturnal one. Yeah. Well, we'll try and get him in that honey hole right there in the last hour, and we'll get him one of these days. So, yeah.
Let's do it. So, 877-794-1973. I'm sending Nags this photo of him.
Yeah. Drew, thank you. Thank you for reining this back in.
It's cool. I don't think it's the dad, it just reminded me so much of my dad taking a picture of all the kids. Hey, everybody get together here. Everybody get together, just lining it up.
So, Armen Sarian, noted middle-aged man.
Well,
how do you take a picture with your cell phone?
I'm usually I'm quicker with it. At least I don't use the big iPad. You ever see those guys walking around with the iPad looking like they've got
I knew Nags was coming up and I was capturing the moment because he wasn't on screen very long.
He wasn't going to be on very long, especially the nice side-by-side with our friend Steph Sutton. We got to get Captain Kate on at one point. Now, I will say
Kate's got to make her return for sure.
You know what's making a comeback? The digital camera.
I did see that.
Wow.
That's not a 420. Go to happyplacemp.com, get 42% off using promo code Huddle. I've been seeing people rocking the digital camera again, Drew.
I thought you were going to say, what's coming back is the Polaroids and photo by friend Carl.
Now there's something to that. Now those you definitely have to potentially pay big money and attach different things with, but
isn't there a Gen Z push to try and live more brick and mortar like they use? I don't know. I hope that's true.
They're trying to get off. They're weaning themselves off digital a little bit.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Phones away.
My brother-in-law was telling me about how he's detoxing from all social media.
There's only so much you can do.
Now I'm only getting my news from Apple News.
Yeah, but then they go on social media to tell people about it and make reels about it. So I don't know how that. It's kind of cyclical in that sense. Like it has to work with itself. I'm waiting to see it though. I'd love to see more people shopping at the mall. I'll be there walking. So
you be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. Whatever.
As marauding high schoolers are bothering Armen during his mall walk.
I was going to say, you were not over.
You just ripped me.
Not over at the pub.
20 seconds after you ripped me for taking a picture like Gramps, you're talking about walking in the mall with your New Balance on, your Air Monarchs. So who's the old guy?
You're totally
Let's
right.
Go.
Drew, when he was a kid, you played sun up to sundown. Whenever mom and dad said it was time for dinner, that's when he came in.
All right. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. It was a good series, but a tough finale in South Florida.
There's a liner into left. A 2-out run-scoring single for Liam Hicks in the Marlins. Have scored 3 runs here in the bottom of the first off of Mizorowski.
The Brewers' 4-game winning streak is over, but they do win the series against the Marlins. The final, though, Sunday on South Beach. Miami 5, Milwaukee 3. The Crew off today. They'll open up a 3-game set at Detroit starting tomorrow night. Elsewhere in the Central on Sunday was the Cubs rallying past the Mets 2-1. Reds over the Twins 7-4. Cardinals beat the Astros 7-5. It was the Pirates over the Rays 6-3. To the NBA, where the playoffs are underway, one huge upset. The Magic dumped the Pistons 112-101. Also from the East, the Celtics beat up on the 76ers 123-91. Spurs over the Trailblazers in the West 111-98. The Thunder beat up on the Suns 119-84. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you. You need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we got to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit down now and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmidt,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Monday in the Good Land. It's the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison. Worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. Streaming live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Drew, Billy, and Armen bring it to you. The band is back together this week, appropriately on 420.
How it's supposed to be.
April 20th. What happened to April? Oh, yeah, we were hunkered down in the basement for most of it, watching the floodwaters.
That was the April sirens. That's what those now are going to be referred to for quite some time.
It's draft week. Playoffs are underway. Brewers are in action. Well, not today, but they're playing, and they're headed to Detroit, and they've won 2 series in a row, and their bullpen may be getting sorted out with McGill.
Yeah, maybe getting solved a little bit. You want to talk about some gritty wins, man.
Yes.
Being able to come back those
2-1,
2-1s, and then go down to Miami, which just feels like a pesky squad. Like it's a good improving team, and those have been some fun games over the last couple of years.
They'll come at you.
But I agree with you, Billy. They were. I mean, albeit the Brewers did lose yesterday and get their winning streak snapped. You talk about all the negativity that was kind of swirling around this team after that first loss to Toronto, right? You had the game 1 loss. You had the losing streak. What's McGill going to do? They're down 1-0. You had to grind your way back to get those 2 wins against Toronto. Obviously, a really good team. Buzz Williams used to have when he was coaching Marquette, he had this old this speech that they put on the internet. It was the whole character revealed speech that whatever you put in your bottle, when your bottle's tipped over, when you face adversity, whatever you've been putting in is going to come out, whether it's positive or negative. And I thought the Brewers' bottle was tipped over with losing streak. It was tipped over, and what came out was grittiness, character, grinding, teamwork. I love that, and I thought they showed that over the weeks. I was pretty impressed with the Brewers circling the wagons, getting that win streak back together. So that was good to see.
So let's fire up some game balls and kicks, shall we? Because it's Monday in the Huddle, and that's what we do. We award game balls for a job well done. If anybody or anything deserves a kudo and attaboy, a little something out of the petty cash drawer. We'll take the petty cash drawer here. Go get yourself a delicious lunch, will you? Today on the Huddle,
bubble wrap.
Yeah, this bubble waffle. This is a game ball today on the Huddle.
Bryce is nice.
Bryce is nice.
Great
BA
call,
from
BS.
Brewers TV.
Yep.
Good to have BA back. All right. So conversely, if you want to give out a kick to the balls, this would be a performance improvement plan, to use the corporate vernacular that's popular today. This is a kick to the balls.
Why? That's Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank, number 1 Mets fan.
I had so much to pick
in
from.
the middle of an 11-game losing streak.
Admittedly, I ruminated. I mean, I had so much Frank the Tank to pick from. At least 4, 5, 6, 7 drops I could have picked.
That's amazing.
So
All right.
we're going with the why God why.
Yep. Juice the sound on that because it's a little bit.
You're right. I'm gonna crank it up.
Those videos are unbelievable.
Why God why?
They had the Pardon My Take guys had Francisco Lindor on their show, and I don't know if it was an old one. I don't know if it was resurfaced. I don't know if it was brand new. But commenting on Frank the Tank, and he's like, "Hey man, just hang with us. It's gonna be okay. Don't show that to Frank. All right,
Yeah, no.
Don't show that to Frank because he is going to blow an absolute gasket. He might blow his right chest, right? Like he might blow an actual hole right out of his right pec with how he's going to scream there. You got to take care of that young lad.
All right. I'm going to open the bidding today.
Let's start it up.
Because why not? I have the first game ball, the ceremonial first game ball on this Monday in the Huddle. And my first game ball goes to Coleman Crow.
Bryce is nice.
Well done.
Coleman Crow.
Done good, kid.
Tell me that, Armen, when you watch that, you didn't flash back to Chris Sainz.
Chris Sainz, that's a great memory, Drew. Never made it back to the bigs, but Chris Sainz had one shining moment.
Glorious shining moment in a day game against the Cardinals.
You did. I was working at the upstairs fan zone. They call it the kid zone back then, now team store, on terrace level during that day. And I remember that he shut down the Cardinals lineup after the game. Pujols said, I guess the kid got kind of lucky. Let's be honest. And Jeff Jenkins said he deserves to stay up here. That was it. One chance, one time. That was it for him.
As it turns out, we're almost on Chris Sainz Day. His major league debut was April 24th, 2004.
Tied for the best record winning percentage in MLB history.
I was going to say hard to top.
Yeah.
Hard to beat that one. You saw the curveball spinning enough to get a super sweet graphic of the Brewers social media account, putting our guy Hunter and Dave Gasper in there talking about the curveball spin rate and the exciting break that it had there for crew. I also was going to give a game ball to Coleman Crew's mother.
Bryce is nice.
Tremendous job on the interview because you could tell that poor lady was going through it on Friday. She was running the full gamut of emotions. And when she's holding the friend's hand, Drew, while talking to Sophia Minert to try to calm herself down, she goes, well, I've been crying in and out of most of the innings. I've been in and out, but I think I finally calmed down. And the youngster calmed down because he was pretty good.
He was really good.
No one goes through the gamut of emotions like Mom. No one's been there for these guys. Whenever you see Mom at a debut or something like that, you can only imagine the hours and hours and days of dreaming and hoping and work and travel and investing in money and time and resources and love and belief that one day you might see this moment and then you're hoping they succeed. I just can't imagine the emotion to see your own child out there and we're interviewing her during the time. It's tough.
But they were doing it right. And Sophia did it correctly. She interviewed Mrs. Crow while the Brewers were batting.
Yeah.
That's the right time to do it.
Shoot him on
Not
a
while,
basket case, yeah.
right. Not while they're on the mound, or like while Tyler Black is in the batter's box. Maybe that's not when we go in.
Sophia's got the right touch for that type of situation.
Sure. So, by the way, Chris Sainz called up from Double-A for a spot start. You know why? Because the current now COO of the Players Association, Chris Capuano, was injured.
That's
How about that?
So Chris Sainz comes up from Double-A, and he is like a JUCO 28th round draft pick. He pitches 6 scoreless racks against the mighty Cardinals. He had 7 strikeouts and 3 walks, gave up 2 hits, shut them down. Brewers won that game. He goes 1-0 with a 0.00 ERA and never touched a big league mound again.
Amazing. He kind of had that Moonlight Graham type moment. But you know what? If you're going to get one shot at it's a memory for a lifetime.
He beat a team that would win 105 games that year.
I was going to say 04 Cardinals, no joke.
Yeah.
He gave up hits to Pujols and Ray Langford, but that was it. Struck out Scott Rowland and Mike Matheny. So Chris Sainz was absolutely shoving that day, which was a little bit like Coleman Crowe. He pitched great and just fantastic.
I remember right. His parents had to get some crazy flight to get there, but they were there in the stands. So sorry, Billy. Yeah, I jumped on you.
No, I did that to make sure that you're able to be there. I think parents would be moving just about heaven and earth. But I also like the backing of, and clearly that was the same thing that Chris Sainz had of all the other guys in the dugout and in the clubhouse. Like, yeah, I mean, you watch that stuff. That was working. That stuff is going to play if he can play and pitch like that. And you wonder if he's going to get more opportunities. It's total Brewers baseball of the young players that they've continued to develop in the minor leagues and get the most out of. Crowe came over in the Adrian Hauser, Tyrone Taylor deal with the Mets.
Yep.
So it wasn't like they just stumbled upon him and a Rule 5 guy clearly identified and worked with. So good to be able to see him pay some of that off. And also good, and most importantly, be that team now, Drew, that other teams are going to see on the docket say, Brewers have some guy making his major league debut. Son of a.
Yeah, come on.
Now he's going to go 5 1/3 of 1-run ball. I like that the Brewers are becoming the hated Cardinals, because they've always felt like the Cardinals would throw some guy straight out of the minor leagues.
We're becoming that, yeah.
And he just dominates for an entire night, and you just cannot fathom why you're screaming at the TV.
And every time we do, you're noticing that now, Billy, that every time there's a fairly unknown guy, and I mean, we're aware of our guys in the organization, not quite to Dave Gasper levels, but we're sort of aware of our guys. But anytime somebody outside the Brewers sphere and world that sees somebody go out and have a good performance, they're saying, here go the Brewers again with some straight up voodoo magic. It's the Cubs accounts. It's always those type of, Cardinals accounts that are always frustrated that the Brewers find a way. But look, the pitching lab, all these guys, they know how to identify certain guys. You see the movement on Coleman Crowe's stuff. You got to figure that's what they figure. Hey, we're going to work with this guy's movement, his stuff, his action. So that's it right there.
How about another game ball to Jose Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones?
Nice.
Venture capitalist from Southern California bought the Padres for $3.9 billion.
Wow. That's a heck of a valuation.
$3.9 billion for the Padres, who last I checked are not LA or New York or Chicago. The Padres, like the Mets, when Steve Cohen bought the Mets, it was $2.4 billion. That was 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
And I wonder if there's got to be something with the amount of Padres television rights. Well, I thought that it would have had something to do, but they were like the first team.
Padres television rights are like the Brewers. They were the first team to go to MLB as a ward of the state.
Yes.
The Dodgers up the road. The Dodgers get $300 million for their TV rights. The Padres get like 35, like the Brewers.
Have to get produced by the league, and I'm like, this does not make a ton of sense at the moment.
So. Yeah, I mean, Forbes thought they were worth $1.9 billion last year.
Crazy.
And
but
so
why do I hear that their market is better than people think, though? In terms
because they have a decent amount of fan base into Mexico.
But there's they're bordered by an ocean. It's the 30th market. In the major leagues.
The only thing that I could think of, and like the only thing that would give me a little bit of understanding is they're the only game in town, right? Like, so they're the only pro sports team there. And one of my good friends lives out there. That place is always packed. Like the in-stadium attendance is always good. Their team is really good. But I don't see 3.9 billion good on the valuation.
They have 300 million less in TV revenue than the Dodgers. They got the desert to the east, Mexico to the south, and the Pacific Ocean to the west. So it's like they're landlocked in a market where I've always thought that they kind of overplayed their status as a small market team.
That's what I mean.
For sure. They can operate as a bigger market.
Medium to medium big market.
Yeah.
Right?
When we're talking about those kind of numbers now, well, that just goes to show you the capitalism, the market of pro sports franchises now.
Okay.
I mean, that's crazy. What are these numbers? What does that make? Didn't Mark Atanasio just make $2 billion then on this sale, basically?
Basically. Yeah. So it was 14 years ago that the Padres were sold, and Peter Seidler and Ron Fowler bought them for $800 million. 14 years later, they've a 387% return on their investment.
That's good.
So
business.
This sent shockwaves through the business community, the sports community, and it makes you think, how can they possibly say that they need a salary cap when the Padres sell for more than the Mets?
Mm-hmm.
And the players are going to be like,
good joke.
You want a cap? Look at that valuation. Look how everybody just made all this cash, and tell us that you're hurting and that you need to financial relief, and that we have to help you in that regard.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you saw the same thing, Drew, because I immediately saw people saying like, oh, this is a huge boost for the labor negotiations. Like, I think it's only going to further enrage and probably unite the players, which feels like they're probably more united than they've ever been in understanding that this was going to be the plan. This was going to be the year that they were probably going to have a work stoppage, and this was the year to get ready for it. You see a lot of guys taking cash up front, and it seems to me like both sides, that the player side would be even further into their line of thinking. To your point, there's no way we're taking any kind of cap when you're making this kind of cash.
You might say that, all right, they overpaid and this is going to be upside down. And we won't know that for a couple of years. But on the horizon, the Padres have the second highest attendance behind the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's always
sold out 72 of their 81 home dates last year. So it's always an event. It's always packed. There's a place is always pumping. Now, Rob Manfred wants to kind of take away the local TV deals and do the NFL thing and share the wealth,
make it as national
which
as
would
possible.
make every team get $250 million a year in revenue out of the TV deals. They're looking at Netflix. They're looking at all the options there on that front. They're likely going to expand in the next 5 years, which is going to be even more cash to owners. And then that would be if expansion fees, if they're charging by this rate, if they're charging $4 billion for expansion,
crazy.
Let's carve up, if we add 2 teams, let's do $8 billion to divvy up amongst the owners. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're dialed in on that.
It goes to show you there's so many.
This might have killed
guys now.
This deal might actually prevent a strike in a nuclear winter, because how can you make the case that you need a cap?
You do make that.
The players you just handed the players the argument that what are you talking about?
Right.
You need a cap. Look what this,
But that's the only fear that I'm sitting here with as the owners are saying, yeah, you're right, and this is now all the cash that we still have to sit here and wait you out longer than you do, right? So as long as if the owners are as united on needing a cap as they have vocally said, it feels to me like this only furthers the divide, makes it easier for both sides to stay locked into their positions and not move.
And to play chicken on who needs the liquid cash first.
Who needs it more?
Usually the players.
Well, and the Padres years ago, they were borrowing money and stuff, but they knew that they'd stay the course, right? And this Peter Seidler's passing, he wouldn't have sold the team, but he was the guy that was saying, yeah, we're doing fine. And he was saying it years ago, let's do a 10-year labor deal. Why mess around with 5 years and go through this every 5 years? Let's do a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
If he was alive, he'd probably say, let's do a 20-year deal. Look at what we got going on. It's insane.
And for all the owners that through the 60s and 70s and the 80s, maybe that wondered what the value of their franchises might be when they're paying $15 million in the 70s for, teams were going for that much. It is just incredible to see what's happened. A lot of it because of the market, obviously, but a lot of it because of the interest in pro sports and I think the proliferation in the last 20 to 30 years of super rich private equity, Billy, that you always talk about this, that wants a toy to play with and that wants a good investment to enjoy during that time. It used to be pro sports for really rich guys was kind of their toy to not make money necessarily, but to play with and to have fun with and to have some sort of, prestige, say I own a team. But now it's seemingly the easiest investment in the world. Just own a team, sell it in 10 years, and you just tripled your take.
Yeah,
so it's just, if you've got the money, it's wild to see this happen.
Feliciano becomes the first Puerto Rican owner of a sports franchise, and his wife is African American, and she's got a law degree. She's a music producer and a singer, and they both went to Princeton, and they're like, this is going to be, they're going to become kind of a power couple.
That's awesome.
In ownership circles, and so they've broken some barriers there, and it was stunning. It was like, they sold for what? The Padres?
$3.9 billion.
Now, we always say that these teams are like yachts, and like the rich people, I got a yacht. I'm going to,
I want to show it off.
It's a flex.
Yeah. It's a flex. It's getting to a different class of rich guy.
It's a flex, but again, they're not losing money. The owners never lose money. So what, again, if you're looking at players, and why do they need a cap? What for what?
Because they want one
to save you from yourselves, or
and that's what I'm
wondering. They want to make
want
more money.
They want to make more of it.
But that's when the players are like, all right, well then we're going to need to share in that, and you can, they don't want a cap and have a floor maybe. So it's going to be interesting, but it does torpedo the negotiations that the owners are going broke because of paying salaries.
Oh, for sure. But again, I just I'm. You're more positive on the standpoint of like, this makes it all right. There's no chance that there could be a labor strike. I see it in here.
Well, there'd be a lockout, but
a lockout. Pardon me. Yeah, but the time off because they can't get into a negotiation. They can't get to a deal. A work stoppage, and to me, it feels like one side's going to feel even more hell-bent on the fact that they got more cash. If there's one thing that I could deliver a kick to the balls to, and one piece of advice that I would give Major League Baseball in those streaming negotiations, don't freaking go to ESPN Unlimited. Oh, my God.
Right.
So for 2 nights, us wrestling marks were enjoying the
WrestleMania, right?
WrestleMania promotion and production.
It was good, Billy, or no?
It was okay. It was good. It was fun. You know what's not fun? Watching nearly an hour's worth of advertisements for an event that used to be a pay-per-view, used to be a 3 to 4 to 5, and sometimes 7-hour block of content.
Right.
On Saturday night, there was legitimately added up to 60 minutes of commercial breaks added into a nearly $40 package to be able to get this deal.
You're subscribing for that. Yeah.
They had at one point in an hour more and longer versions of commercial breaks than one of the matches was on Saturday night. Ooh, so ESPN, blood sucking it up, and the return from the first commercial break. You want to talk about people were mad at Pat McAfee for the Disneyification of WWE. Who was the first celebrity that they showed on Saturday night after George Kittle, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Tyrese Halliburton? Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, this is entertainment, right, Billy?
Now, maybe the biggest pop of the night was the boo that Stephen A. got as they returned and thought that was going to fire up the 50,000. But, dude, between the buffering issues that ESPN's had the entire weekend.
That's the big thing. It doesn't work.
To the insane infusion of advertisements into a product that you actually pay for to watch throughout. It was a wild start to the ESPN run of WWE.
You're saying that pure water from the WWE stream that you've been drinking from for all these years was polluted by an entity that I referred to recently as the human centipede of self-promotion.
Oh, my God, Drew, and they were eating it all, baby.
Oh, they were eating it all. Giddy up. So, yeah, I mean, and can't see him Punk catch a break. Come on. Just saying.
Yeah, he died out last night. Couldn't get it. Couldn't get the help he needed.
Catch a break. All right, 877-794-1973. You heard from us. Game balls and kicks to the balls. It's the Monday edition of the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. We're at the debate desk now. It's halftime of the Huddle. Our buddy Scott Dolphin from Country Station down the hall has dropped by, grace us with his presence, and Armen's all fired up about whether Five Guys is fast food or not. If you don't have a drive-thru, can you be a fast food establishment?
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you to WISN's morning show throwing this poll up here that apparently Five Guys was voted number 1 in fast food burger chain.
Well, now, is that
according to the
quality and
2026
taste of the burger, or is it,
YouGov study leading in popularity, narrowly beat out Burger King, which again, I have not been a Burger King in forever.
This is rage bait. No one's picking
quality, known for customization, and often cited as the most expensive. So if it's cited for most expensive, why would it be the number 1? That's
Someone
my
got
question.
tricked. Someone got tricked. This is one of those fake rage bait. Internet.
All right. Let's dial it back. And welcome Dolph to the party. Dolph, this is what we live with here.
Yeah.
The debates during the breaks are as intense as the ones on air, if not more so.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this poll, though. I mean, I've only eaten at Five Guys a couple times.
Exactly.
Because you can only afford to.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get a month's worth of fries.
That's true.
That's true.
That's their hook. You order the don't order the large fry at Five Guys.
No, you'll be fine.
They have the peanuts too, right?
In store, yeah. A lot of
I
times.
dump a bunch of peanuts into my bag.
See, again, this is just a throwback. I'm on AOL.com. I didn't even know that still existed. Oh my God, this is beautiful.
So
you've got mail.
Dolph arrives in our studio today, resplendent in his quarter zip with the Iowa Hawkeye logo. And you spent the weekend in Iowa, and now you've been deputized as our storm chaser.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was a trip
through the storms. We wondered if you were actually going to. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to go or not.
Yeah, and then I looked at the radar and at early afternoon, and there was just little pop-up popcorn storms, and I thought, doesn't look like it's going to be much. Well, I was incredibly wrong. And the way this thing formed is your weather just freaks me out sometimes. But I got 3 tornado warnings in southwestern Wisconsin between Madison and like Platteville. But the problem, when you get those on your phone, it doesn't say exactly where it is. It says tornado warning in your area. Take cover immediately.
Yeah,
well, I'm taking cover in my Jeep with the rag top right now.
I was going to say, you're like looking at the skies and saying, well, where is it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I could have taken my pick. It was dark as midnight off to my right, and they had thunderclouds 50,000 feet in the air off to the left. I thought, I'm just going to go straight. Like Armen said, keep driving west. That's what I did. I went right. The offensive line made a nice hole for me.
Keep it in the middle.
It's the old NASCAR thing. Drive through the smoke.
Yep.
That's it.
Don't try to drive through it, around it, and just drive through the smoke.
That's it.
Or if there's a deer in your path, head straight for it, hoping that it'll move. Because if you swerve and it runs, you're going to hit it. Yeah. You're going to collide.
Same way with a squirrel. I always have trouble with squirrels too.
Yeah.
Do you hit it or do you swerve?
Because the guns are asking for it.
They're going to play games.
Yeah, they're asking for it.
They're going to play.
You can't damage your car.
Glad you made it, but it's harrowing. And Billy and I, we keep flashing back to our drive home from Lambeau, our cheek clenching, our drive home from Lambeau in the flood after that exhibition game in August. Like, oh man, when we almost, if we hadn't had the company's F-150, we'd still be in the river outside of Bayshore Mall.
That was the night we had the flooding. Everybody's basement flooded, right?
Oh, yeah.
August, the first Packers preseason game. That's what it was.
My wife and I went to Earth, Wind, and Fire that night downtown, and we thought, okay, it's raining, but it's not terrible. Same thing, kind of like with the storms on Friday. It turned terrible.
Oh, it was horrible.
You saw all 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So draft week is upon us, Dolph, and you're watching it from the Bears' perspective, and we're all watching it from the Packers' perspective. And our thing is that we have FOMO on 2 fronts because it's not in Green Bay, it's in Pittsburgh, and the Packers don't have a first round pick.
Yeah.
So,
but you have Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's true.
Amen,
and
Dolph. Thank you.
That's the ultimate consolation.
Yep.
But what do we do until 52? By the way, the last time the most notable player of the Packers, I think might have been the only time they picked at 52 was Greg Jennings.
Ooh, look at that digging. That's what I'm talking about, Drew.
That's a pretty good name.
This is the latest that 52 is the latest that they've ever had their first pick of the draft.
Yeah, they've been pretty traditional over the years.
Oh, yeah.
First time since 86 that they haven't had their first round pick going into the offseason. Now, they've moved back a couple of times.
Yeah,
Jordy
twice.
Nelson.
That year,
Kevin
Jordy
King,
Nelson.
right, would be another similar one.
What happened in 86? Anybody remember? Just curious.
John Huddle trade.
Oh, my God.
The Lawrence Welk trade.
Why do I?
Oh, that's fair.
A 1, 2, 3.
But I feel like John Huddle was earlier. No. Sorry about
I
that.
thought
I don't mean
I
to
thought
go
it was too.
historian on
Yeah,
you.
I think it might have been.
But
Huddle was like 78.
Right, I think that was the package, I believe, but I could
maybe
be
that
wrong.
was part of it because the Huddle, the remnants of the Huddle trade went forever. So maybe it was that, even though it was years before.
I could be wrong. You can
I
fact
think
check
you're
me,
wrong.
though.
I think you are wrong, but I'm just saying.
I hate to be that guy. Of course, on John
No, that's
Huddle,
fine.
I think about
Get the information.
Oh,
then.
Mossy Cade.
There we go. Mossy
Mossy
Cade.
Cade.
Mossy Cade. So it was
Mossy
even
Cade.
worse.
That was much worse. He got in trouble.
Yeah.
Now, I also think about when's the next time we'll have a quarterback wearing 21 in the NFL again, or in the 20s, because that's John Hadle wore 21.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think you'll see it. I mean, everybody can wear just about any number now, right?
Pretty much.
Billy knows my take on numbers.
What is that?
Put these guys back
awesome.
in position numbers. I want to know who's playing what. I don't want to see,
Not like college.
Yeah, come on.
You don't want to see number 0 playing linebacker?
Edge rusher at number 7. I think it's kick ass.
It looks cool.
Mine too. But quarterbacks, they still wear traditional numbers, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They don't wear anything above. They don't have the old Doug Flutie number.
Well, no,
22.
because quarterbacks have the numbers. Tell me if I'm wrong, that everybody wanted with the single numbers. Everybody thought those.
Yeah,
were cool,
generally. I think quarterbacks up to 19 you're allowed to roll through.
Yeah.
I still think that one is position specific.
Right. But we might run out of numbers at some point.
How many Hawkeyes will be drafted in the first 2 days of the?
The first 2 days,
choose them up.
You might see Logan Jones, the first team All-American center. I was stunned
Move
by
him
this.
back to day 3. Move him back to 4th round, day
Packers.
3 to the Packers.
Yeah, you want Jennings Dunker though, don't you?
I'd prefer not. I'd prefer Jones than Dunker.
Yeah,
I think Dunker's a good kid. I think he's a good football player, but I like Jones a lot.
Logan Jones is really good. I didn't until I read over the weekend on mock drafts. I always had 14 straight years with a first team All-American. That even stunned me. I thought I followed this stuff pretty close.
Well,
but he was one this year.
Who's the D-line? Max Llewellyn, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. You could get him later. I don't know. I think late second round, early third is probably going to be the thing. Billy, you might be right. It might be early day 3.
Packers do have a pipeline to Iowa City. They've had some success getting guys from Iowa.
Yeah, and I mean they're potentially just going to have to race the Ravens to the podium to draft Logan Jones because they're like, sweet, all right, we just lost our Iowa center.
Yeah.
Let's grab the other Iowa center. The interesting thing is he started for like a ton of years at Iowa, and that's kind of Kirk Ferentz's thing. We don't start underclassmen here at Iowa.
That's true.
Earn your take here at Iowa. That's why Lucas Van Ness, not talent and limitations in college. That's why he didn't start. At Iowa.
Never started at Iowa. Obviously, you could see the skills with Lucas Van Ness. But Logan Jones was a defensive lineman when he got there, and oftentimes with Kirk Ferentz, they'll say, "Nah, you're not a defensive lineman. You're going to go over here." They did with Dallas Clark was a linebacker when he got there, and they moved him to tight end. They do that all the time.
Went from D-line to center in the spring and started in the fall.
How about
that's a hell of a transition.
That's like the J.J. Watt transition from
tight end.
Yeah,
that's right.
Jennings. The thing about Jennings Dunker though is I think he'd be great in Green Bay because you'd have the perfect fit with Quick Trip with the sponsorship. Get your Jennings Dunkers.
Yeah, he's a Culver's guy now.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize.
There's already there's a big profile story of Jennings Dunker with Culver's, and they're working in a little endorsement deal already.
They're not competitors, though, right? I mean,
if we're calling Five Guys fast food,
thank you.
True.
Then we don't know whatever anybody is going to be in any category.
Then you'd have to pick up a free agent undrafted called Glazer. You'd have to.
Got to. Billy, for your edification and for your files here at the 52, pick number 52, Greg Jennings is the best Packer chosen at 52, but of recent vintage, you had Cam Akers, George Pickens, Zach Charbonnet, and going all the way back 30 years, Ray Lewis.
Wow. Holy cow. That's okay. So that works out for number 52. You can grab a good football player right there.
I thought, Ray wasn't a first rounder? Oh,
yeah, Ray was a first round pick.
What am I
number
missing
52.
Here? Oh, no. Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So you feel better now
about
your second round pick? 52 overall.
I feel really good about it. I feel really good about 52, and I feel even better the fact that they have a number of different assets for next year's draft that they can also trade around.
Of course, Goody said way back at the combine, there's always a chance we could trade up into one.
There's a chance.
What would have to be there for him to jump all the way up into the top 32
That's the
picks?
thing.
That's the tough part about it is I don't necessarily know what position they would be going up for. I think a lot of people are going up for tackles. There's going to be 7 to 8 hopefully 8 offensive linemen taken on Thursday night, all in round 1. Only one guard, the kid from Penn State, and everybody else going to be a tackle. Proctor, the former Iowa kid that went down Proctor. To Alabama, is seemingly rising up because he was 390 pounds.
Oof.
And then went down to 360, and people are like, that is a moldable piece of clay that we're going to put together. But
yeah, he's a man.
A lot of people are going to go up for tackles, and that's going to be about it. The Packers need a tackle, right? Obviously, Rasheed Walker not returning, but they made their move at tackle, and they got 2 cats that are going to potentially duke it out to try to win that spot in Belton and Jordan Morgan.
That's true.
So, that's where I don't see them going up all the way on Thursday night. Maybe on Friday more
isn't that the
earlier
whole
on
thing?
into the
Like
30s or
my
40s.
thing about the draft is you have to look at it as the body of picks, the whole body of work. Because if you draft David Bakhtiari in the 4th round and he becomes a 10-year starter, he played like a first rounder. We mentioned last week Evan Williams playing like a first-round pick. Right?
100%.
He wasn't.
Second contract guy for sure. He was
Javon
day
Bullard, you can make a case now. He'd be a first-round pick probably, right? Those guys that are second rounders, we ascribe them a value because of where they're drafted, and that melts away unless you're obsessed with the draft and where guys are picked.
Yeah, I think that goes for the 3rd and 4th round as well, like a
Yeah.
Bakhtiari. If you get guys of value that can be
can miss
starters.
You can miss on your first-round pick if the guy you take on the second day is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it'll work out. It'll even itself out.
So that's why I look at it as like 7 or 8 or 9 players as a group, not just the guy that's the first round.
I think there's safe picks too in the first round. Obviously, the quarterback is always a question mark. You're seeing teams give up on guys after a year or two after they take him in the first round, and then they're off to draft somebody else 2 years later.
And then look at Goody's pick. Like look at Jordan Morgan. Like Van Ness is definitely on the clock, but he might bust or not.
No, this is the year
bust
for him.
Or not. This is the year. But if Jordan Morgan's like, oh, he's a bust, well, he might start now. He's going to start at left tackle, and he might be for 10 years too. And it might end up being a really good pick. But you just have to hold your takes.
The tough thing is, though,
no one wants to do that.
We can't hold off judgment, Drew. Like holding off judgment, that would mean that we would be asking for more information before rushing to a conclusion. That's
now
not American right
you're
now.
a year in with Matthew Golden, and you say, well, there are other guys who had more impact, but it's like, yeah, but he's going to start this year because he's going to.
But people are already adding up. Well, this guy hadn't done it, and that guy only had 200 catches or 200 yards receiving in his first year.
This is what the NFL has done to us, though. It just being relevant every day on the calendar. What today?
1,000%.
Today is what is today? Today is
420, baby.
So it's 420. Yeah, it is. They have meetings. They have rehab. They do strength and conditioning starting today up in Green
Phase
Bay.
one.
Phase
one of the offseason program. Yes, because you can't call them OTAs anymore. Now it's phase 1 of the offseason program. It builds all the way through.
And then by Sunday, the rooks are in, right?
Well, and very quickly, then the vets will go away for a little bit. They'll get rookie orientation, rookie mini camps in, and away you go. And it's crazy how they have fully cannibalized the offseason as still NFL season.
That's right.
And every other day during the fall and winter, by the way. Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Believe it, man.
You wanted Black Friday college football? Sucks to be you. We're taking that over now too. Yeah. How about every other major holiday?
So, and then you also get your perspective's colored by who they could have taken, like the whole
the
TJ Watt dilemma. Yep. Well, okay, so Josh Myers, 2nd round pick for the Packers. He ended up, they needed him. He stepped in when Lindsley was hurt. He ended up being pretty solid, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, but Drew, he wasn't Creed Humphrey.
It wasn't Creed Humphrey who was taken with the next pick.
Oh yeah,
you're always going to have that.
So
comparison is a devilish thing, man, and
it is in life and in football.
100%.
Why would you?
But I do. There's a lot of folks that have a lot of charts and graphs and historical records of this is the guy that I would have picked, and this guy totally would have been an all-pro. I picked this guy, and they picked that guy. It's an inexact science. But the most important thing is how you develop some of these guys. And I think you're going to find a stranger. We were talking about earlier, Dolph, with the guys that right now are going to be going 3, 4, 5, 6 and beyond. I don't know how many of them are the best versions of themselves because you don't know how many different schools they went to. You know how many different development curves they kind of went on. The old school. Not everyone plays for Kirk Ferentz for 4 or 5 years now, where they know your warts, continue to develop. And that's a reason why they put so many guys into the NFL because they're kind of known commodities at that point.
Yeah, and if they were in a crappy program with crappy strength and conditioning, for example, maybe at a mid-level. And so, that's why your scouts are more important now than ever when it comes to your NFL teams.
Yeah, and there's more data and there's more information, and Packers have a type with that, RAS score.
Oh yeah, they got a type. That's
the athletic freaks. But are there a lot of those in day 2 and, anybody worth taking?
Well, there's a couple the running back from Arkansas is going to have a ridiculous RAS score. And don't be surprised if the Packers take a running back on day 2.
They've done that type of thing. I mean, in the past, they've done it.
That'll piss people off.
Oh, it'll really anger folks.
Yeah, but they need to start thinking about that position in the future. So
they definitely.
Josh Jacobs coming off maybe his worst year
Emmanuel's
in
gone.
the NFL. Emmanuel Wilson gone. Marshawn Lloyd consistently hurt.
Never can play.
And Armen's guy, Chris Brooks, is a very, very nice guy.
Well, he's not a.
And there you go. That's where you're sitting at. So I would not be surprised, especially if Price is there from Notre Dame at 52. That one I'd be okay.
He's a good
with.
player. You mentioned
Really
people with freaky athletic ability. I'll never forget the year the Bears drafted the dude who jumped out of a 4-foot pool.
That was
out of San Jose State. I can't remember his name. He was with them maybe a year, maybe two.
What position was that?
He was he was either
Probably
a linebacker or a defensive end.
Yeah, probably a linebacker.
But, he was an okay player, but I think they drafted him just because of the social media craze that was going on. And
sweet video.
It was unlievable. Yeah, he jumped out of a full pool.
Jaron Gilbert?
Jaron Gilbert. There you go. Good one. Yes.
Yeah,
I didn't remember how it was pronounced. It just shows to show you.
Third rounder.
Third round pick. I didn't think he went that high. Wow.
2009.
Yeah.
After a viral video showed him jumping out of a completely full swing.
It was nuts.
In 2009, that had to be like early Vine. No wonder he got drafted. You go viral during those days, you deserved it.
Vine was the best.
His nickname
So
was
good, Dolph. 6 seconds.
That was the best.
That's all I got.
That was the best draft video this side of Laramie Tunsil with the gas mask.
Larry Tunsil's video was very inspirational that night, Drew.
Yeah.
Hey, he turned out to be good, though. Whereas Gilbert gave you 4 games, Dolph, and 1 total tackle.
1 tackle.
Is that what it was? Only one season?
Jumped out of
4
a
games
pool.
and 1 tackle.
Unbelievable.
All right, well,
but he'll always have that pool jump.
As a tip of the cap to Laramie Tunsil, let's remind people today's April 20th. It's 420, and our pals at happyplacehemp.com, 42% off and free shipping today only till midnight. Use the code HUDDLE. 42% off.
Free shipping and gas mask not provided.
Absolutely. Hey, Dolph, thanks for popping in.
Fellas.
Appreciate you. It's always good chopping it up with you, and it means we're halfway through our show. Hunter Baumgardt joins us an hour from right now, live from his fortress of solitude, and we'll talk Brewers as they head into an off day today and then travel, and they're facing Detroit beginning on Tuesday. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Did they get
Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen celebrating 420 today. And happyplacehemp.com, 42% off with the code Huddle, free shipping. Well, today only till midnight. And so we've been telling you about that.
It's a great deal.
And
Amazing
then,
one.
you know, we'll do our wake and bake story later. But right as we speak, the skydiver who hit the scoreboard at Virginia Tech spring
So
game.
glad that's where you were going. I
Scary,
saw it.
man.
I'm so glad.
Oh my goodness.
Drew, remind me of the guy that came into that boxing match. What year? When the 90s?
Pause.
There was a wasn't there a skydiver or something that dropped in the middle of a big time boxing? I'll look it up. Sorry.
Look it up. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh boy.
I thought of a number of different things right away. First off, great pull of whoever was videoing it, saying like, "Hey, this is an amazing moment. I'm gonna capture this." Oh, he's not turning. He's not turning. And then when the poor son of a gun is sitting up there, Drew, there's no race over to help the young man, even though there's really no way you're helping him. He's suspended 25 feet up into the air. It was just a race for who can get their phone out faster to get their best angle of the problem that's sitting right in front of you as he's dangling over the brand new scoreboard there at Lane Stadium at Virginia Tech. Maybe that's why we don't parachute in for the spring game.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why you do. Get this out of the way during the spring game so this isn't during Virginia Tech.
Wow. Yeah, it's just like
crazy, man.
Well, had he landed successfully, no one would have paid attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good point.
What a start to the James Franklin era.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Did James Franklin show up in a helicopter?
I gotta think so. Well, it might have been his helicopter that they had that guy go up into the air with.
That might have been.
That can't be a good omen. I'm not necessarily the most stitious guy. I'm just a little stitious.
There you go.
That can't be a good sign.
It
doesn't seem like it's going to be a great way to flare up the new spot where you're putting all this money and all these funds into your football program.
877-794-1973. Armen, we got some good game balls and kicks to the balls holstered up.
We do have some good game balls and kick to the balls.
That guy got a rope to the balls. That guy got his whole harness to the balls right up there.
Oh my gosh. Here's one from Dobler on the YouTube stream. He said, game ball for outfielder Luis Lara, tearing it up for Nashville, hitting 352 with 11 steals.
Price is nice.
He was balling out during spring training too. Almost wondered if he was going to get the call over Greg Jones.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that might be good. Like I said, I'm waiting for that jersey. That's going to be one of my favorite ones. And I did get a game ball to Coleman Crow's sister from Nick and Slinger. Now, I haven't availed myself of the internet to look at
Price is nice
at Ms. Crow, but you guys can do that for yourselves. I'm not really sure. Have you guys looked at this?
I didn't necessarily see that. I did catch myself when I was giving the game ball to Mrs. Crow for the interview that she did with Sophia and that whole thing. It did sound like I was potentially giving her a game ball for that. But maybe potentially so. But he's also married. There were a lot of people in that section. Now he's from Georgia, I think they said.
Okay.
So a little easier trek down to Miami. And also, I mean, if you're going from anywhere, you can get to Miami, Florida. Yeah. They can get you to that ballpark at Lone Depot. But yeah, congratulations to her. Then obviously a little FaceTime.
Apparently, yeah. Well, third hour upon us. So keep them coming. Games and kicks.
That's right. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with my friends from Game Day Men's Health. Peptide therapy's all the rage in the fitness circles. Testosterone replacement therapy. They can help you with hair loss. They can help you with all kinds of stuff. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Hunter's going to join us at 7:30-ish, and we will talk more Brewers as they get ready to face a gauntlet of good pitching coming up in the very near future. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. We start with the Brewers, where all good streaks do come to an end.
That's up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Just stuck his bat out there. Here comes a throw towards the plate, not in time. And Sonoha safe at second. Look at him wiggle those hips.
The Brewers' 4-game winning streak comes to an end. The final score 5-3. They lose to the Marlins in Miami. They crew off today. They'll open up a 3-gamer at Detroit starting tomorrow night. To the NBA, where the playoffs are underway in Oklahoma City, it was the Thunder over the Suns 119-84. Also in the West, the Spurs beat the Trailblazers 111-98. In the East, Boston mauls Philadelphia 123-91. There was one big upset, though. The 8th-seeded Magic, they win on the road at the number 1 seed Pistons 112-101. A big trade in the NFL. 2-time All-Pro nose tackle Dexter Lawrence goes to the Bengals from the Giants for Cincinnati's number 10 overall selection in this week's draft. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we got more down to. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Welcome aboard. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Drew, Billy, Armen on this Monday in the good land. Good to be out from the rain. Good to have Armen back in the chair. Good to have the playoffs to focus on and the NFL draft this week. No Brewers game today, but we'll be talking to Hunter Baumgardt at 7:30.
I got to wonder if Hunter is getting enough suggestions or requests, I should say, for the windbreaker coming up on Saturday night for Brewers and Pirates. They got some sweet giveaways rolling through here.
They've had amazing giveaways all year. The wiffle ball set, now the windbreaker is going to be really popular. People love wearing those things again. So, yeah, I would wonder if he's going to be getting some sort of offers.
Because I got to assume that bar dice set is the one that people are trying to get the most this year. Last year, cribbage board in May was the hot to do, was the hottest item. But at Windbreaker, that's some serious stuff that they got that they're packing coming up on Saturday night. So get back to the ballpark coming up this weekend, but 3 in Detroit. Now, was this a rivalry back in the AL days as much, or was this just more passing for the Battle of Lake Michigan?
It wasn't heated per se. They had some competitive games, but it wasn't like a hatred.
Right? Yeah, more of just like a general
some mutual respect.
Around.
Yeah, general milling around.
I remember seeing them a lot. I don't remember any bad blood or anything like that. But we would see Detroit a lot.
So very similar to the Reds
these days. Very similar to the Reds.
Just a division team that passes in the night.
Now, Cecil had some memorable moments in County Stadium. Did he hit one out
of the stadium against Plesac?
Yeah, so that was memorable.
Yep. That's a great story that Plesac tells, because his mom was like ironing clothes or doing something and SportsCenter was on, and she's like, I didn't see it, but did you give up a home run to Cecil Fielder yesterday? And he said, yeah. You didn't see the highlight? And she said, no, I just heard it. I heard it in passing. He goes, oh yeah, it just barely got out. And he said, I didn't tell her, it just barely got out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Not the ballpark, not the playing field, the stadium.
Man,
he cleared the back wall and hit it into the parking lot at County Stadium.
You know, hitting the ball out of the ballpark, it was kind of something that It's an idea that lived in lore in my youth for some reason.
Oh, yeah. He hit it all the way out of the ballpark.
And there was almost no stadium that you could do it in the 80s that had that sort of bandbox
Tiger
style.
Stadium, Reggie Jackson hit one.
He was one, but County Stadium was the one where you could legitimately, if you got a hold of it, get it out of the bleachers. Yeah.
When the Bash Brothers were the thing, McGuire and Canseco put on a show in BP, and it was like they were hitting Titleists, and a couple of those, they peppered a couple over that back wall. The wind had to be blowing right, but it was incredible.
I think that's why there was some excitement. We talk about the All-Star game at Ben Miller Park.
Oh, yeah.
During the home run derby, when the panels were open, guys were letting them go out of the stadium.
They were also using the Super Juice Titleist baseballs.
I was going to say they were enjoying those baseballs, which I'm not against them using again. Right, like especially for the Derby, fire up as many of those Titleist baseballs as possible. However, we got to cook them things in the oven, get them just right to see if we can hit the 565-foot home run that Mickey Mantle.
Not gonna happen.
I just want to see if we can finally best it with the best technology has to offer.
Yeah.
So we were paying tribute last week to Phil Garner, the late Brewers manager, and one of the things, he was such a visionary in so many ways, but one of the things he said when the Cardinals acquired McGuire, he was beating the drums trying to get the Brewers to bring him in because the Cardinals didn't have given that much up for McGuire.
Yep.
And Garner knew, he's like, this guy's a freak show. People will pay money to watch this guy take BP.
Just to watch him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if you can get him, bring him in, like sell and let's enjoy the show.
BP is one of those things, Drew, that needs to be more of a celebration. It needs to be advertised more. Like, and I know back, I'm sounding old here, but like 10 years ago, you used to get into the Brewers game almost every night, 2 hours before the game, and you'd get a good hour worth of visiting BP and just seeing the insane talent of these dudes. I mean, like I would always say it whenever the Warriors are in town. Damn near better than the third and fourth quarter will be an hour before the game when you get to see 20 minutes of Steph Curry shooting a basketball, doing ridiculous stuff. And BP is just in that same ilk for baseball.
Not only BP, but they could bring back infield, which nobody does anymore. But before games, like before every game, they used to take infield where guys would be out at the positions, coaches would be hitting fungos. You'd see guys throw right from right field to third base, and they would warm up that way.
How athletic they are.
They never do that anymore. It was a great showcase. That was another, speaking of another visionary, Doug Melvin used to always say, I know it's tradition and stuff, but why do we have the home team hit first when the ballpark is empty?
Yeah.
And not let your home fans see your guys take BP?
Yep.
It's like, well, they want the extra rest before the home games. Well, then you would get that on the road.
Yes.
And it would be like, let the fans see your guys. And he's like, we're missing an opportunity here to have
a great marketing tool.
You know,
Marlins are doing that. Yeah. Did you guys mention that?
I don't know. No,
I think the Marlins are doing it. I saw Kurt Holt tweet about it. Or I thought that they're
smart. They only have 100 people there anyway.
Right.
You might as well give them the best show you can find.
The Marlins, when they played at the old Joe Robbie Pro Player or whatever the hell it is, without a roof, they would it rained. It rains every afternoon in Florida in the summer. Like, and for certain months, it rains for an hour like every day.
Yep.
And you would never have batting practice on the field because it was always pouring.
That's wild.
In Miami.
Open stadium there.
So it was like, it was like you set your watch by it.
It was wild seeing the game in the Miami sun on Saturday.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, have not watched a game where the roof has been that much of a factor in Miami.
Sure.
Man, Ryan Braun must have hated that game because those shadows were devilish during that game. That was a tough time.
Back where his old college stomping grounds.
That's true. Yeah, he would have liked to see the logo trade on the side. Yeah, it would have even Steven.
So speaking of the Brewers, we mentioned Hunter's going to join us, but they've won 2 series in a row. They lost. They're coming off a loss, facing the Tigers. And you talk about a gauntlet. You want to set your calendars. It looks like if the schedules hold, the Brewers will face Cy Young winner Tarek Skubal on Thursday and getaway day in Detroit. And then on Friday, they'll face Paul Skeens in back-to-back games.
Tough back-to-back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cy Young back-to-backs.
You hope to get a split out of that, right? I mean, that's the kind of the way you look at it. You can get one.
Hope to get a hit.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Hoping that we can make some contact.
But hey, why can't they
chase Skeens early again?
Get to the bullpen. It could
why
happen.
can't they catch a soft a cupcake like Garrett Crochet?
Well, in my guess is, Drew, they're gonna wreck one of those guys, right? Skeens will get out by the 5th inning. They'll have tagged him for 3 or 4 runs, and then there will be some no-name guy that you're completely anticipating being able tag, and he'll be the guy to go 6 1/3 of shutout
Skeens
baseball.
Woodruff must-see TV on Friday.
That's going to be a good matchup.
Woody's throwing great, man. He's like reinvented himself. He looks like Greg Maddux out there. He's dotting it.
Hey, reach back. It's that 96 when he desperately needs it.
But he's dotting it at 92 and making it move.
And you could hear even BA get a little giddy when Woody reached back for that one too, because you can tell like it's got to be a different. He's such a different pitcher. But that confidence that he has on the mound, Drew, he was always a different kind of swaggy on the bump, right? Like that Southern confidence and demeanor and intimidation. Now he's just like, don't worry, I might be better than you. I know I'm not as overpowering, but I'm still better than you. And whatever Wilson Contreras is going to be yelling over there at first base, don't worry about it. I'm dialed in on what I'm doing here on the craft.
We've been mentioning it all day, but our friends at happyplacehemp.com have the sale for you, $420 today.
The place to go. Huddle.
42% off with free shipping with the code Huddle.
It's
42% off.
It's honestly such a good deal. It's almost disrespectful to not take advantage of it.
Agreed.
And so they're going to give you almost half off. On top of that, going to get the free shipping, which again is the most, is the online shopping version of spinning the tablet around asking if you want a tip at the end of it. Maybe you should just because they're giving you such a great deal, but the tip is going back and using promo code Huddle because every day Huddle works for 25% off and free shipping. But today only on the 20th of April, that holiday pricing is 42% off. Can I deliver a swift kick in the balls to the home city of the NFL draft? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, waking up for a big football weekend. You know what they're not going to get, apparently? An answer on who their quarterback is going to be. Oh. This from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, maybe ESPN. The Steelers have not received word from Aaron Rodgers on his future, and there is no expectation of a final decision prior to the NFL draft, per Rap Sheet and Tom Pelissero. When minicamp begins today under new coach Mike McCarthy, national champion Will Howard will be quarterback one for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Because that would be an epic opportunity for him to drop in and announce his return, right? And make a pick and stuff like that.
He does it right there on Friday night. Maybe there's big, I think McAfee's doing some live event on Wednesday. Maybe he does it there. People thought he was going to announce it when McAfee did something in Pittsburgh last year. Didn't happen. But I just sitting here around in 2026, you're still wondering what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He always said, guys, I'm not going to hold anybody hostage. I'm not just going to prolong and drag this thing out and take forever to let you know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait till schedule release day now and let you know if he's going to end up coming back and playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
Well, of course, everyone's definition on what long time is probably different. So, but yeah, you're right, Billy.
You don't think draft week is a long time?
No, he's taking his time. I agree. But maybe he doesn't think that. But I think he is taking his time here. So, listen, it's not. Are the Steelers going to draft a quarterback? Maybe. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see that. Game ball. I have a game ball, guys. Can I drop
Let's
a game
go.
ball?
Drop it. Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Game ball to the long-suffering Buffalo Sabres fans. And the
good
Sabres, who won a big game last night, their return to the playoffs. It looked like, all the excitement over the first home playoff game for the Sabres in like 15 years, right? They were down 2-0, had 4 late goals in the span of 6 minutes in the third to take the win. And Sabres fans and the crowd got a lot of good publicity last night for their excitement. You see some of the videos. And I'll say this, guys, maybe this is something I should say for Hot Take Hump Day, but this is what you see out of Buffalo fans. Obviously, great sports fans there. We know about the Bills Mafia. We know about Sabres fans. When you're long-starved, like they have been in football and obviously in hockey now, have not been to the playoffs in 15 years, you see the excitement of getting something to cheer for again, being hungry and starved for success and getting it. You see the joy, the pure joy of fans when you're not entitled to getting a bunch of wins. And sometimes I think this is the trap we fall into around here because we've had so many teams be so good at a certain level for so long. Brewers have been to the playoffs, Packers have been to the playoffs. We know about the Bucks. That sometimes we get a little spoiled with that certain level of success and we don't appreciate it. Now, I always say, Try to appreciate all the success the Brewers have had the last 5-10 years because it wasn't always like that. So there's an example of a fan base that has been starved for so long and the true appreciation they have over just one playoff win. They were going crazy last night.
Is this the point of the year where we have to say that sometimes playoff experience is overrated?
Oh, yeah, maybe. A little bit. And then
Mr. Wembyana has entered the chat.
Yeah, Victor entered the chat yesterday, but then the Philadelphia or the Detroit Pistons said, excuse me, maybe it does. Right? Maybe it is a little bit of a factor as they get beat by the 8-seeded Magic, who everybody was planning was out. Now, beginning of the year, remember they're going to win the title because they traded 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane. So they were everybody's favorite pick out of the Eastern Conference. Then going into the play-in game on Friday night, nobody wanted to see the Magic win. Everybody was excited about the Flying Knipples and the Charlotte Hornets. They beat the brakes off of them on Friday night and then roll up into Detroit and beat the Pistons last night. So it might be a problem. It might be a little overrated. The other one is, Drew, especially in hockey, man, home court and home ice. Very overrated. Very overrated in hockey because those games are going to be wild wherever it ends up turning to. Maybe a little bit of a kick in the balls of the Sabres fans.
Why, God, why?
Oh, God.
They had a very excited moment. They beat the drum to start the game out.
Sure.
There was a lot of excitement. 15 years they haven't had a home playoff game.
Right.
Who is going to start up the fireworks and get this place rocking? Than the wife of the radio announcer. A lot of people thought it was going to be Josh Allen. There were some people that thought it was going to be Thurman Thomas. There were a lot of big names. Maybe new head coach of the Buffalo Bills, Joe Brady.
Right. It was the wife of a broadcaster.
Of the broadcaster. There were some people that were not very happy in the comment section that I saw of that.
I feel like real ones would appreciate that. Like the long-suffering like the real fans always appreciate the broadcasters that have had to sit through the years of losing if they have a moment. So maybe the real ones would appreciate that. I don't know. I guess there's 2 ways you can look at it. But you're right. I guess when you're looking for a big name, it's probably not the first thing you think of. So I guess that's understandable. Kicking the balls, I've got one to new Blazers owner, Tom Dundon. All right.
That's a tough one.
God, why? Not sending the two-way players on the road due to cost-cutting measures by new team owner. Now, the Blazers were owned by Paul Allen. They had their own plane. They had Blazers 1. It was a famous plane. That's when the jail Blazers would go crazy on. Blazers 1 was his own plane. I don't know if they don't have that anymore. It's cheaper now to not send those guys, but that's a cheap move. You're not sending two-way players on the road in the playoffs. Couldn't believe that one. So that's a big kick in the balls right there.
How about a kick in the balls to whoever came up in San Antonio with the tri-colored color out last night in the stands?
You said a game ball, Billy?
Kick in the balls.
You said a game ball?
Yeah.
Why, God, why?
That was
a
visual disturbance last night. It was disgusting.
Okay, I loved it.
What are we doing with what are we doing here? First off,
looking cool.
It's the first round.
Well, this might be their only round. They haven't been in the playoffs in 7 years. They got to get crazy. Is
this the San Antonio Spurs that won 5 titles in 15 years?
Yeah.
Is this the San Antonio Spurs with maybe the best coach of this generation and Greg Popovich still running the organization?
But is this a new era, Billy? Is
this the San Antonio Spurs that were told to me to have the player that apparently is going to change all of basketball?
Yeah. And what are you saying?
And we're dressing up in 3 different colors for game 1? That was, first off, if you're going to do the color out, do a single color. I don't love the red and white out. I don't like the blue and gold out.
The stripes.
I like if you're gonna force feed and have some video intern putting pictures of people up during the game or during the pregame saying, put your shirt on, put the cool shirt on that we gave you. This fluorescent orange shirt. Put this on.
It's a cool shirt.
At least put it in one color so it is not such a disturbance and annoyance while watching the game.
All right. That's your opinion. My opinion was it was super cool. I love the look. And I'm glad they all put their shirts on, unlike fans around here who can't be bothered.
You're going to die on that.
So we're going to disagree on that, Billy.
Billy, who's hot, who's not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Lots and lots of candidates for both.
There are a lot of different candidates that could be one. Who's hot? How about Donovan Mitchell? He goes off for 32 in the Cavs' first game of the playoffs as they take on the Toronto Raptors. Drew, he is now gone for 30 in 9 consecutive game 1s of playoff series, announcing his presence early into a series. Something he was doing significantly this week for Donovan Mitchell. And how about another guy who has always been fond for me, Paolo Banchero yesterday, 23 points. He led the Orlando Magic into Detroit, beat the Pistons in game 1. Now might be the only game the Magic win in the series. Very much could be.
Could be.
Or we could be headed towards an absolute slobber knocker, and maybe the team that everybody was expecting to be able to get drummed out of or be a little bit of a second round disappointment in Detroit, maybe a first round misery as they get bounced out. Could be a lot of fun in the playoffs. But the most important thing is, Drew, who's hot? It's Roman Reigns. It is our tribal chief as he once again wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Last night in the main event of WrestleMania, he was phenomenal. The man is absolutely yoked. We got Pete hitting us up on the talk and text line about it. It was phenomenal. It was a great finish to what otherwise was kind of a disappointing weekend. It wasn't all that great of a WrestleMania, but whenever Roman Reigns is going to be putting that finger high up into the air and hoisting that title belt and standing up strong and tall for the long-haired guys, holding up a title belt, believing that you actually look like Roman Reigns with a sweet tribal tat. You don't look as cool as that with your tribal tat. He was doing it last night and back atop the WWE mountain. Shout out Roman Reigns. And shout out Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. 40 years in business, employee owned, nothing better than that.
Hunter Baumgardt, our baseball go-to guy, joins us next year in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, Drew Olson, Bill Schmidt. Armen Sarian's back. There's a reason our streaming numbers are up again.
Yeah, baby, Armen.
Armen Sarian is back in the saddle.
I deliver the goods. Is that what you're referring to?
The numbers always go up when we go to our Brewers go-to guy, Hunter Baumgardt, who joins us now.
Delivers them.
That clean fade is what gets
live
people to the video feed.
Early this morning. Good morning, Hunter. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great. Plowing our way through.
Better now.
And, Brewers are playing okay. A little rough one yesterday. Rough start for the Miz in his first inning. But, Hunter, what was your take overall about the weekend?
Yeah, I think you win another series, especially after losing 6 in a row. They were able to get 4 of those wins back, if you want to look at it that way, right? And get back to 12-8 before losing yesterday, and then they're at 12-9 now. But, I mean, considering everything, considering the injuries these guys have fought through, and some of the woes the bullpen has had, guys you relied on last year not being as good this year so far, considering all of that, 12-9, you would take it, I think, if you would have said on opening day that all of these things would happen within the first few weeks of the season, and you'd still be sitting at 12-9. So I think overall you look at it and you say, sure, would you love to have some of those games back? Would you love not to go on a 6-game losing streak? Yes. But in totality, the first few weeks of the season, I think, has went pretty well considering the circumstances.
That's a good way of putting it, Hunter, because it's also like we say this a lot more in football, but it's not necessarily who you play, it's when you play them. And you can't know that until it pans out. And Drew was doing the math during the last hour. And we're like, okay, so Skubal one day, Skeens the next day, Keller potentially the next day. That's a great way of meeting some of the better pitchers in all of baseball. 2 Cy Young winners. The who you play and when you play them might not be great when you have, 3, if not 4 of your best hitters in your opening day lineup or on paper not in the lineup. Feels like they're kind of adjusting, though, to having to play maybe a little bit different fashion of baseball to win when offensively they're just not going to be the same without Yelich, Churio, Vaughn, and add in what else they're going to be potentially missing on a day in and day out basis if a guy has to miss 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think what they're really doing is kind of even maybe putting more of an emphasis on what they've done in the past, and the fact that, okay, this team's going to run, this team's going to try to manufacture, this team's going to bunt at times, and they're kind of leaning more into that just because they kind of have to in order to score runs right now. They're not going to get the pop in the lineup from a Churio, a Vaughn, or a Yelich, like you said. So how are you going to get runs different ways? You're going to steal second and the ball goes into center field and you get to third. Are you going to, take advantage of some odd mistakes the Marlins made over the weekend and that's because they're putting pressure on the opponent. And so that's when obviously this team was going best last year. That's when this team was going best over their 8-2 start, was putting the pressure on opponents. And unfortunately, their offense isn't doing that as much so far this year, just because, like you said, the horses are not necessarily in that lineup. However, when they're still able to, when guys do get on, whether it be a walk, whether it be a single, whether it be an error, whatever it is that they're getting on base, they are still able to the thread of the steel and pushing the opponent to see what they can do and make them make a play. So that's it seems like that's what's been over those 4 games they won in a row there, 2 against Toronto, 2 against Miami. That was what the Brewers were doing. And that's kind of the way they have to play, not only, when these guys are out, but also when they're in. But right now it seems to even be more important.
Hunter Baumgardt joining us here. His appearance is brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted source for imported cars, exceptional vehicle care, South 27th Street, just north of 894. All right, Hunter, what do you say to fans who would ask you, Coleman Crow comes up, pitch lights out. Why did they send him down right away? Why aren't they putting him in the rotation and giving him a 10-year contract?
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted him to go back down, but there's nowhere in the rotation right now. I mean, think about this. The last 9 games for the Brewers, there has not been a starter to give up more than 2 earned runs. The last 9 games.
Amazing.
So you think about that, and the way at which this starting rotation is pitching right now, you don't want to take anybody out of there. And the only reason Crow got the start was because they pushed Kyle Harrison back. He had some soreness from his wrist that fall weird play at first with Gary Sanchez a week ago Saturday against the Nationals. So then they wanted to push him back, but he's set to go back into the rotation coming up tomorrow night against the Tigers, which is good news. He has pitched well this year so far. And Brandon Sproat's coming to his own. And Chad Patrick has maybe been your best pitcher so far in the starting rotation, most consistent.
Brandon Woodruff obviously dominant in his 7 innings on Saturday. And then you have what Miz is doing as well, leads baseball in strikeouts right now. Like, who are you going to take out of this rotation? Nobody right now. You could argue, okay, maybe see how your bullpen plays, but maybe you do move one of these guys, whether it be Crow or whether it be bringing up a Gasser when he's fully healthy or a Henderson to maybe aid that bullpen as much as they want to build them up as starters. And obviously one of these starters is, knock on wood, hopefully not, but probably going to face an injured list stint at some point. So eventually, most likely, they're going to need one of those guys. However, maybe you do consider putting one of them in the bullpen if they're that effective at the major league level. But right now, that starting rotation is just absolutely cooking. And you say, how could they lose? How could you have that losing streak with the starting rotation? Well, you can clearly see why. In some of those games, obviously, the Boston games where Shane Drowan didn't have a great start, Miz fell apart a little bit in that 6th inning. But otherwise, that losing streak was mostly because of the bullpen and because of the offense, because the starters have been dynamite.
Yeah, and history tells us you're going to eventually need that depth as a starter anyway. With injury, whatever is going to happen. So I think especially in April, it's way too early to really try and change a guy's movement and change what you're building him up to be, just to help out the bullpen. Speaking of the bullpen, is it too early to say the waters have calmed a bit? Rolls are starting the dust is settling a little bit after that losing streak, a little bit of improvement over the weekend? Or is it just, performance is nonlinear, Hunter? What is it going to be here?
I think it's great that McGill came back and pitched 2 leverage innings after those couple of bumps in the road. I mean, to number one, for Murphy and the staff to put him back in those situations in the 8th inning in the series finale against the Blue Jays, and then in a situation where he ended the game, closing situation in that 10th inning on Friday night. So I love it. Back-to-back days as well. So that's good to see. Now he's got a couple of days to rest and he'll be ready to go for the Tigers series. So I'm not saying that everything is, sunshine and rainbows for Trevor McGill yet. I think there's still a lot to be done and make sure that he's still effective. Uribe seems to have calmed the waters a little bit. Obviously, he didn't want to necessarily go to him on Saturday. Woodford, he would have loved to have him finish the game there, but you don't want to risk that with the bases loaded, and Abner's able to get out of that. So, yeah, they have been pitching a little better. However, then you look at what was it, Angel Serpa, right, on Friday night that gave up the lead, and that game had to go to extras. So I think the waters are a little calmer than they were a week ago, maybe, but there's still work to be done in those leverage spots in the bullpen.
I thought the Uribe performance on Saturday was maybe the best moment of the year from exactly what you just anticipated. The last thing you want to do is go to your closer. When you're up 5-1, you don't feel like it's going to be tenuous. Woodford's been good for you, and then all of a sudden you have to call in the reserve for Woodford because he's completely taken on water. But Hunter, I mean, we're a number of minutes into this, and once again, another kind of game-winning hit for your boy on Friday night. This Garrett Mitchell season
he won
so
the
far,
game for him Friday.
Right? Wins the game for him on Friday, and I would wonder, are we getting into a point where we're going to not worry about a lefty-righty matchup for one Garrett Mitchell?
Hang on, Hunter. Here's the numbers. I was just looking at it because in 2024, when he had a kind of a healthy stretch and he played the biggest bulk that he's played in the big leagues, he had 224 plate appearances, 25 walks, and 21 RBI. In 224 plate appearances, 25 walks, 21 RBI. This year, 67 plate appearances, 16 walks, and 17 RBI already leading team. And his OBP is 439 right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
he has more walks than hits.
And we're everybody that wanted to give up on him.
And when he walks, he's a stolen base threat. So a walk to him might be a double.
Yeah, it works out to it.
So it's Hunter, you were on the cutting edge, and we joked that you were the president of his fan club. But clearly they've got something with this guy.
Hunter was right, yeah.
He's just good. I don't know what else to tell. He's just a really talented player. Now, exactly. And does that always come true? Does that always pan out for players? Not necessarily, right? There's players that don't necessarily go to their full potential. But I think for him, unfortunately, we just have not been able to see that consistently because he's gotten injured and at so many points in his career so far. So I was just excited to say, all right, let's see how this guy does as your everyday guy. And Churio getting hurt has aided that because they needed him in the lineup, and his production has aided that because you don't want to keep him out of the lineup. I mean, he's hitting technically, I haven't looked at the latest numbers, but I would think this is pretty much true still. Way less at bats against lefties, but his batting average is better against lefties than righties. So I think you just play it. Now, I know it's way less of a sample size against lefties. You just play him every day. And I think, do you have to give a guy a day off? Yes, they gave William Contreras the day off for the most part yesterday, except that pinch hitting spot. So yes, it is April, and I don't need to see this guy play every single day, especially with his injury history. But more often than not, put him in that lineup because, like you said, he's been clutch. He's been getting on base. Sure, would you like to see the strikeouts go down? Yeah, that's probably the one part of the game that you would. However, yesterday he gets the ball in play, gets the run in to get the Brewers on the board. They're down 3-0, then down 3-1. So I think you do. You're seeing him be productive in these different spots. And yes, so I would definitely want him to play more often than not.
I know it's frustrating for a lot of people, but all strikeouts are not created equal. Like strikeout with a guy on 3rd and 1 out, that's bad. Strikeout with nobody on or 2 outs, nobody on, like to end the inning. That's the same as a ground out. Who cares? It's a pop up. Doesn't matter. There's a stigma to it. But if you can strike out as much as you want if your OBP is 439.
Yeah.
To me, it's
you
like,
said it right.
And with the other day, it's like, all right, they've used 19 different lineups. And the other day they had Frelick leading off. And I'm thinking to myself, Garrett Mitchell's getting on base all the time. Why isn't he at the top of the order? Now, statistically, the number 1 hitter in your order leads off maybe 1.5 to 2 times a game. Like you think of it as like being your lineup construction. And the number 5 batter ends up leading off the second most innings. Right.
Amazing.
And so you can put him at 5th too. And I don't know what their metrics are saying, but I'm wondering why doesn't he project more as a leadoff hitter when he's getting on base at the rate he is?
Well, that's really a high on base percentage, no doubt about that.
Let's talk about fans for a minute, a little bit, Hunter. Do you think there's a little bit of Sal Frelick privilege going on here? He's had a rough start to the year, and I don't hear anyone talking about it. If Garrett now, granted, I'm a Sal's pal still. And Sal has...
You never were a Frelick guy. I don't know what you're trying to adopt here.
Sal's done a lot more in this league in terms of track record. So that part is true. He's built up equity. But he's having a slow start. If Garrett had this slow start, we'd be hearing about it from everybody.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, look out. If that was happening, then there would be a lot of that. I think with Sal, he's breaking out of it a little bit. We're starting to see a little better signs. I also think, and Pat Murphy's talked about how that guy just battles and he's going to snap out of it, which I believe as well. I also think, and I have nothing specifically to go on other than that he left that game a couple weeks ago against the Royals with that side injury. I don't think he's fully healthy. Just watching him move, and he got on base yesterday. I think he got a single yesterday. He's on base and he's kind of like moving around and shifting a little bit with it. And he's talking to Spencer Allen at first, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if he's a guy who's going to play through anything and everything. Right. I just don't know if he's fully healthy right now, and I think that could be the reason. Now, the offense is not affecting his defense. We saw the diving catch the other day on Friday night in that first inning when Coleman Crowe was out there on the mound, and Coleman's like, oh yeah, well, this is the Brewers defense they talk about. So that was pretty neat. But I think so he's not letting it affect his defense. But yeah, I think right now it is a little concerning the longer it goes. But again, I just have a feeling he's not fully 100%. Now, is Sal really, ever fully 100%? Because he just goes 110% every single game. So he's running into walls and everything. And he's kind of maybe used to playing sore. And that was one of the reasons he didn't play in the WBC for Italy, was because the Brewers wanted him to have a full restful offseason and a normal spring training because he was banged up at the end of last year. And I wonder if he's dealing with that a little bit to begin this year. Just a theory, but just observing the way he plays usually and the way he's acting and the way his body language. That's what makes me think that.
I am liking the personal injury law firm of Lockridge and Mitchell. I think they're doing a good job.
I like that.
Lockridge is playing pretty well too, especially flashing some leather and stuff over the weekend. All right, Hunter, on the way out, give us our Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report. Give us some updates and some good news, because if you're going to be facing Scooble and Skeens on back-to-back days, you might want some injured guys back. Orthopedic Associates, orthowisconsin.com. There is a difference. What do you got, Hunter? What's the update on Messrs. Churio, Vaughn, and the rest of them? Priester?
Yeah, Churio's swinging a bat, which is good. We heard that over the weekend, so that's the next step in the process. Churio and Vaughn will eventually go and do a little rehab stint in Nashville, so they're not going to rejoin the rotation or the starting lineup right when they're healthy. Churio will be back sooner than Vaughn if all goes according to plan. I would still say early May. We're at April 20th, so I would say maybe this is just a guesstimate because I'm not sure what Pat Murphy said over the weekend, but I'd say maybe a week and a half, and you see Churio in Nashville maybe, and then that leads you to a May 5th, 6th, 7th. I don't know, return to the lineup. If you're saying early May, I would say Vaughn is more mid to late May. He's been working with the glove. When I saw him in Milwaukee there, the last homestand, he was doing some infield work with Matt Erickson and just doing some things on the side, but still he's got the bandage on his hand, but he's still using that glove hand. So he's doing that. I'm not sure if he was also swinging over the weekend. So again, I would say early May for Churio, mid to late May for Vaughn, mid to late May for Yelich. Although Yelich was, when he talked to us after that injury, he's like, I don't want to put a timeline on it. So he's going to try to come back as fast as he can. And then Priester, I would think, is going to start his rehab assignment in Nashville pretty soon, if all went well in his last Arizona League outing or late last week. So hopefully that Nashville Sounds team is going to get some major league players probably coming in soon. Now, also, I guess Churio could go to Appleton. He could go to the Timber Rattlers and do it there. It sounds like Nashville's probably going to be where Priester goes, but maybe Churio does go up to Appleton. We'll see.
I like that. Get them back for that Yankee series in the homestand.
There we go.
Or don't even worry about those Cardinal games because they're not relevant right now.
And don't worry about the standings yet, right? I mean,
the standings are wild. I mean, the NL Central's just rolling right now.
Don't have fun. I'm just saying, but don't worry about what place or it's way too early for all that stuff. Am I? Yeah. No, enough. Am I wet blanket?
Yeah, really? No, I just love you telling people how to fan. You're telling people how to watch Sal Frelick, telling people how to look at this. Just coming in here on a Monday, fresh off nice little vacation, telling people what to do. I like it.
Some guy, the Brewers are in last place. Well,
telling people to go into the basement, a drill sergeant Sarian. That's what we're getting here on this Monday.
That's right. Hunter, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. No baseball show today, correct? But you'll fire up a pregame show tomorrow.
Exactly. 4:30 to 5:30 tomorrow before a 5:40 start in Detroit for the Brewers against the Tigers. So, yes, I will talk to you then.
Shout out to Import Minded for getting Hunter up early.
Shout out 5:40 first pitches.
We love it. Yes. Nice. That's going to be nice. Absolutely. All right. We got one last break. Be back to close things up. Hey, 420, 42% off happyplacehemp.com.
Come on, Huddle.
Use the code Huddle. Free shipping and 42% off, the best deal you're going to get all year. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to close up shop. Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Armen's triumphant return to our panel here as we're chopping it up. Again, we got playoffs. No Brewers today, but there's playoffs in the NBA, the NHL. We got the NFL draft coming up. We're fixating on number 52. Shout out Ray Lewis, Clay Matthews, and Kyle Harrison.
I also got some big Packers news as the phase 1 of the offseason program opens up here. Packers exclusive rights free agent. And as Adam Schefter puts, wide receiver Bo Melton has signed his contract tender today.
Come on now,
Bo Melton back in the wide receiver room, according to Adam Schefter, no longer in the cornerback room. So we won't have the questions as to why is a cornerback out here running routes on 3rd and 10, Drew. It'll just be, why is Bo Melton, the wide receiver, out here running corner routes on 3rd and 10? But we'll see.
Love it. We already did our wake and bake story if you're looking for that, but happyplacehemp.com's got you covered today on 420, 42% off and free shipping with the code HUDDLE. Free shipping, 42% off. I just made my order. Billy's about to make his. Not that I don't love going to Muskego and seeing the boys, but at this deal and at the convenience of it, and I'm, dog sitting this week, so.
See, and that's the part of it, Drew.
It's much free time.
People get mad when I'd say this to my wife all the time because she is a big grocery online pickup. I'm like, I can walk through the store and pick it up. And then again, it's kind of convenient just to roll up, press a button, and they walk it right out to you. I love going in and seeing Rob and Chris. I love chopping it up by the Brewers and Bucks. We will be doing that in the summer. But when it's going to shift right to the door and save almost 50% off, that's hard to beat.
Too good a deal. So we've done that. Time for our superhero of the day. Speaking of good deals, Current Electric, man, it's one of those things. Like, we started doing this read for our superhero of the day, and now I see their trucks all over the place. And, I have a connection to that. My stepmom and sister both worked at Current Electric for a time, and
awesome,
fabulous company, good people. And the best in the business, the superheroes among us. So, Billy, who's our superhero of the day?
So I've been trying to narrow it down on a potential superhero of the day. Then you read off those numbers from Garrett Mitchell. Those are like superhero type numbers that he's got here. If you're going to get on base nearly 50% of the time.
That's almost Barry Bonzian.
Oh, yeah, that was the exact word I was going to use. He was on base almost every other time.
Bonds was like a 475 on base, and he's like, that was the most ridiculous offensive season of all time. Okay.
And for Mitchell, like, the more and more opportunities that you get from him, the more you think of, like, okay, as much as they've enjoyed, and I know Armen just brought up Sal Frelick, and we still know Jackson Churio is the diamond in the entire group, but there's still possible guys going down the way. That is a clear focal point and a pillar of the organization. If he's going to be that kind of player and be able to stay healthy for a 162, that's all-star kind of stuff right there. Pairing it up with another first-round pick of Bryce Terang, going to be making his first all-star team this year. That's tough.
67 plate appearances, 16 walks, and 17 ribeye steaks. Wow. It's a good start.
That's a pretty dang good start.
I remember him coming up and being like, first time I laid eyes on him, because physically he reminds me of Steve Finley, who was a really good player with the Diamondbacks, Padres back in the day. But he's athletic defensively, but I don't remember his strike zone judgment being lauded to the point where he's drawn as many walks. Maybe it's a fluky hot start thing, but for him to draw this many walks and get on base the way he is wow.
And just it's consistent, and to see the kind of patience that they had with him, understandably so, when you're going to be able to produce in that form and fashion. And, you enjoy being able to see guys that take and catch a bunch of arrows. To be able to see them finally have some success this way, you just hope that it continues to roll through. But the success at Current Electric, that's no fluke, because they are dominating that space and also keeping people safe. Less than $30, $26.99 to get a safety inspection in your home. Do that and give yourself some peace of mind, because now the storms are gone, the severe weather's out of the way, all eyes towards summer, and get that little bit of threat of anything going on in your home out of your mind. $26.99. Call current.com. Thank us later.
Well played. No loose ends, other than to tell you that we're going to do this again at 5 a.m. tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out in the huddle, and welcome back, Armen.
Peace.